When the doors of equal opportunity are open for women and girls, everyone wins. Equal societies are more prosperous and peaceful, and the foundation of sustainable development. On this International Women's Day, we recognize 30 years of progress and achievement since the landmark United Nations Conference in Beijing. This transformed the rights of women and reaffirmed those rights as human rights. Since then, women and girls have shattered barriers, defied stereotypes, and demanded their rightful place. But we must be clear-eyed about the challenge. From pushback to rollback, women's human rights are under attack. Age-old horrors, violence, discrimination, and economic inequality still plague societies. And newest threats, such as biased algorithms and programming inequalities into online spaces, opening up new arenas of harassment and abuse. Instead of mainstreaming equal rights, we are seeing the mainstreaming of misogyny. We must fight these outrages and keep working to level the playing field for women and girls. We need action to unlock finance so countries can invest in equality and to prioritize those investments. Action to open up equal opportunities for decent work, close the gender pay gap, and tackle challenges around care work. Action to strengthen and implement laws to end all forms of violence against women and girls. Action to secure women's full participation in decision-making, including in peace building. And action to remove the obstacles to women and girls in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The United Nations Pact for the Future and the Global Digital Compact offer blueprints to guide these actions. When women and girls can rise, we all thrive. Together, let's stand firm in making rights, equality, and empowerment a reality for all women and girls, for everyone, everywhere.
So, good evening to everyone. I hope everyone's fine and well. I think that was pretty much evident in regards to how and what we're going to be discussing in terms of what Women March is all about, how it's perceived within Pakistan. This was a video on behest of the UN, what their women empowerment program entails, what they're focusing on this year, and the entire 2030 agenda in terms of empowerment of women. On top of that, there's another video from the perspective of the UN women empowerment role, specifically in terms of Pakistan. I'm just going to share that with everyone as well, and then we'll basically begin the conversation, and we'll go from there. So we've got Arisha with us, we've got Maham as always, and we've got Munis. Just before we play the second video, I would like to bring Maham into the conversation. Maham, what's your entire opinion in regards to what you've seen so far? Is that something which appeals to you? What are your comments in regards to
that? Well, generally, women are not in a great shape in a country like Pakistan or internationally, but we need such movement, generally like Aurat March, to remind us every year about the plight of women. And not just women, also religious minorities. This time, the Aurat March has been delayed to 11 May to celebrate it on Mother's Day, especially because there is Ramadan in March. But it was still there was still a protest in Islamabad, which was cut off right in the middle because they wanted to move to the D Chowk, and they were not allowed to do so because they didn't have the NOC. So that's the update so far. We'll discuss the delegation points after the video.
okay. So let me just bring that and say that.
I think once we get to the stage where women are and girls are in education at 50%, in the workforce at 50%, are in cabinet at 50%, are in the parliament at 50%, then we can think about, okay, maybe we need to sort of, balance things out a little bit, but we're not there yet. We are not there yet. The father of this nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, once said very, very, very clearly that you cannot progress and no nation can rise unless your women are standing shoulder to shoulder. So I see my role as more to amplify those voices, to create those spaces where they don't exist, and encourage others to do so. So I think it is a fair point to say, I cannot consider myself as that spokesperson. I'm not for women. Women have their own voices and they need to speak, but it's a question of making sure you create the spaces, you see where the gaps are.
Do you like music?
You're asking someone from Bangladesh if they like music. Of course, music is, I think, the lifeblood. I enjoy.
I think that's enough as we wanted. So this was Mr. Kazi, who's of Bangladeshi descent, and he's basically heading the UN women empowerment programs within Pakistan. And very kindly, we were sent this statement in terms of a full podcast. We will share the entire podcast named by Gender Talks in the description if anyone would be interested at some stage. So the question is, now we've laid out what the issues should be. And with this statement from Kazi, what we've seen is people basically making that generalization that women already have majority of their rights. What are they fighting for? And clearly, when he mentioned in terms of women's participation in various fields, and specifically 68% of Pakistan's population lives in the rural areas, so that is the majority. And then the situation in urban areas is no good either. So where is that disparity coming from? Later on, we'll also share what Maryam Nawaz is doing in regards to that, and has she been able to fulfill any gaps, or is it just hoo-ha? So Maryam, so now I'm just going to pass the microphone to Maham and Arisha, as they're the main people in regards to this conversation, and we shall basically come in when we have to in terms of me and Munis. So Maham, go ahead.
So I want to introduce the manifesto main points that were introduced for this time's Aurat March agenda. Some of them were like specific educational policy should be designed for transgender individuals. A ration card system should be introduced similar to Benazir income support program to meet women's nutritional needs, especially the working class women and farmers. Incidence of breast cancer among women is increasing. Therefore, breast cancer screening and treatment facilities be provided at district level. Religious minorities should be protected. Government should establish transgender colonies in every city. Separate help desk be established for transgender individuals at hospital, and safe houses allocate specific spaces for them to house those subjected to violence. Female domestic workers should be registered as home-based workers and given legal protection. Safe houses should be established at district level for women subjected to violence, and strict measures should be taken to eliminate sexual harassment in educational institute. Separate transportation facilities for female students. These are the main points of the Aurat March manifesto. And when you look at it, they all make sense. I mean, most of the transgender community is far more oppressed. I mean, they're not treated like humans in most places in Pakistan. So giving them their own spaces in educational institute and in hospitals, that is only fair. What do you think, Arisha?
Yes, I would say that these are all very good points that they have been, raising, and they should raise, such issues and such points. And you are completely right that transgenders are totally dehumanized in Pakistan, specifically. Even women have certain rights. I won't say like they have all the rights, like they are very safe in Pakistan, but as compared to transgender, they still have some rights, and transgender community is very dehumanized. And it is really good that also Aurat March is, working for their rights. And the very unfortunate thing in Pakistan is that there are some influencers who are totally bringing this, religion card unnecessarily into it. Okay. And transgender, they have been, just using this term like transgender, that they are saying this is something like, westernized, propaganda. So they are, they are more into defining what is intersect or what is transgender. By the way, what I believe, they should focus more on the rights of transgender, because even if because transgender is a term that also, includes intersex people. Okay, so it's for both of those, the ones who have hormonal issues and the one who are, born with those genital issues. So they are working for the transgenders, and I think these points and their issues regarding their rights should be raised, and they should focus on these things. But there are certain influencers like Maria B, Kaisar Ahmad Raja, who are totally unnecessarily bringing religion card into all this debate, and especially in a society where transgenders are totally dehumanized. You should have, empathy, at least, at least raise voice for them. This is later on, you can debate on that, what your far left has done in west, and uh, which people should be included in transgenders or intersex. This is other debate, but you should have basic empathy. Like you are discussing, like what will happen if a transgender will, go into a woman's washroom, women will suffer, women will harass. But I have hardly ever been harassed by any transgender. So they should think about the reality, because that community is already very marginalized. They are already suffering, they even do not have basic rights. So you are making them, you are making them appear like someone who is very threatening, who can harass women. But I have never been harassed by any transgender. So I think these people should leave such debates. And it's a very good thing that people who are organizing Aurat March, they are talking about transgender rights as well. So basically, they are fighting patriarchy. Because of patriarchy, women and transgender, both of these, people are suffering. So it is very good that Aurat March is highlighting transgenders as well. And their other points regarding women rights are also very valid. And I
I,
completely agree with their manifesto and whatever points they are, putting forward.
Mhm. Mhm. I want to point something out to you, because a lot of people talk about how being transgender is bad and Islam doesn't support it.
Hmm,
Pre modern Islamic era had five genders other than men, male and female.
hmm,
They were, I don't remember all of them, but there were muhana, khunta. They were specifically
hmm,
like intersex, transgender, and everything. And a lot of people, I don't know if they know this, but before the British Empire, transgender intersex were given a special space in the Code of Kings, because they used to
hmm,
teach the prince and the princesses how to behave. They used to learn manners from them. It was after the British Empire came and they just sidelined the transgender. So what we're doing right now is we usually say, oh, it's a Western agenda, but hating the transgender was also a Western agenda that was given to
hmm,
you by the British Empire.
hmm,
So because I belong to a place where the tribal area, where the transgender are treated with respect. Like if there is a transgender person at home, an intersex person at home, what they make them do is make them wear dupatta of a woman, and they're kept at home, and they're considered the respect. They're considered as respectful as a woman in a house. If you say something to a transgender of certain family, it is considered an insult for that family. So it is surprising to see that we're still continuing that colonial fever, where we're not
hmm,
giving transgender their due rights, because nowhere in Islam says that you should persecute transgender. No one is in Islam says that you should persecute intersex. even when it comes to punishing women for certain things, those punishments are specifically made as a symbol so that people stay in line. They're not, because you cannot prove if somebody, if, like for example, a woman have done zina, you cannot prove it. They won't do it in public. So you will have to bring proofs, you will have to bring gawa. That is impossible to do. But these days it has just become a trend. You just claim something about a woman and there you go. It's proven and they're dead, right? The stoning and everything. So and then there's this excuse that oh, your religion have given you the rights. Agreed, I agree, at least as a Muslim, but the society haven't. The society haven't given one right. Most of the Pakistani society is running on its cultural views. Most of them are mixing their cultural stuff with Aurat, women rights and rights given in Islam. What do you think about that? I mean, this whole cultural mix up with the religion.
Yes, yes. First of all, the thing that you said about transgender, this, concept of that there should be only two genders, male and female, this comes from West. Whereas where we belonged in subcontinent, there was already this term of Khaja Sara for intersex. So they were not basically mistreated. But now the things are, very different, and they are marginalized, and they are not basically allowed to work as a normal person in normal professions. So these all things are there. Okay, and what you said about women rights, it's quite debatable. Like the religion gives all the rights, but if you see, basically, yeah, our culture is patriarchal, and religion also has something to do with it, because what happens, uh, like either people, they don't know their own religion really well, and even if they know, because what happens, if we talk about, like, during Aurat March, we mostly talk about we want to pass domestic violence bill, but in Pakistan there are Sharia courts which do not want it to happen. Why? They take the basis from religion, that religion allows you to what you would say, like, punish women, beat them, or just keep them in line. They allow men to do this. So man is the one who is the head of the family, and he should be allowed to discipline kids and to discipline wives. So they don't let this domestic violence bill pass. But we want it to happen, because there are many women who are suffering, and you would see, like, many incidents, and there are celebrities, wives are there who every now and then use social media to expose their husband, and whenever they go through domestic violence. So there is need for such bills. And also we want to criminalize, like, marital rape, because in I don't know if Aurat March is actively working for it or not, but there have been, they have discussed these things, that marital rape should be talked about. But the thing is that most of the people who are religious, especially who are scholars, they shut our mouths. Why? Oh, religion allows this, there is this hadith, there is this thing. So there, this thing is quite debatable. Like, the religion thing, okay, you are a Muslim, you would believe that your religion, Islam, gives all the right. But there is something to do with religion. And why I'm saying that, I will tell you. Because if we see our neighboring country, for example, India, basically it's a secular country. Okay, the point is, I'm not saying that people there in India are people are better, or their religion, or anything. Basically, it's a secular country. Religion is separate from state, so there is more chance of reformation. There is more chance that things could be reformed, because religion is not involved with the law. And the thing which differentiates Islam with other religions is that in Islam you can't really make reforms, because itself, people who are Muslim, they believe that religion, especially Islam, is the complete religion. Holy book Quran is complete, is perfect, and you can't make any changes. So there is very little room for any reformation or anything. So religion has something to do with it, because whenever we talk about women rights, it ends, people starts discussing, religion, that it's all about religion. How can you do something about it? Like, if religion allows men to marry 4 times and without women's permission, so how can even women go and complain about? Because there are laws in Pakistan where a woman can go to the court and complain that my husband got married, and he didn't tell me. She can do this thing and she can file the case. But again, it's all about religion. Even the people around her, relatives, won't agree with whatever she would do. So these are
No,
the
but
things. So
that's, don't you think that has more to do with the mindset? Like you just gave an example of India being
hmm,
secular. Divorce is just as considered bad over there. I mean,
yes.
wahan pe, I mean, there are, even in Hindu families, it's just considered just as bad. And let me give you another example. You said religion is the one that would. When Homo sapien people, when people who studied scientists, male scientists who used to study evolution, they decided that men were the hunters and women were the housemakers and the
Hmm.
baby carrier. But recently, in recent study, it has come out that that's not true. Men used to hunt as a single party, and women used to hunt in groups and bring actually bigger bounties. So I don't think the misogyny has any much to do with religion. Even if we were not Muslim today, we would still be behaving like this, right? Because look at Delhi, and then
Hmm.
look at a lot of those countries which don't have, like a lot of Slavic countries who have issues, and there are good countries as well, as I think as Finland and everything, but there are a lot of issues there as well. The thing is that when it comes to religion and science, it was always clouded by um, men and their misogyny. So they came up with whatever they wanted to. And when it comes to multiple marriage, fine. Well, there is a whole history to why there were 4 marriages, but I don't think it's relevant here. But the point is that at the same time, if you don't agree with it, you can get divorced,
Hmm.
and that's okay, right? But then again, if you're a Hindu, and if you get divorced in India, you will face the same stigma, because this is a subcontinent issue. This has nothing to do with religion as such. This is more a subcontinent issue.
Yes, also the stigma part, because the way they stigmatized women, that she was not able to run her home. This is similar in both the societies in whole subcontinent. But the point is that women, basically, why they don't take divorce, they continue to suffer, is they are financially dependent on their husband. And this is same both in India, Pakistan, or whole subcontinent region, includes Bangladesh as well. But the point is that religion has influence on that as well. And what I would say, like, what you told about, basically, like how Homo sapiens were, how things evolved. So basically, religion and how communities were made, this also happened due to the misogyny. And this has patriarchy and misogyny has been part of this world since centuries. Even if you would see male and female bodies, even if you will see other mammals, other animals, there is not much difference between male or female body. But in humans, because women were marginalized since many centuries, so this is also due to evolution, that now we are not as strong as men. So this is the whole thing. And if you would see religions, like if you would see older religions, like basically, or the religions who were Abrahamic religions, basically started when men started conquering land. They started claiming their ownership on the land, and that's how they started treating women as their properties. So basically, this whole system, like all religions and everything, has to do with patriarchy. Even our culture, religion, everything. So this is how, and these things should be changed. People, basically, mindset we are working on people's mindset. That is why we arrange these marches. People say that, oh, what are we doing, like, how will it benefit? The point is, what I think most of the women, we can't do much, but we can create awareness. If we are raising slogans, if we are doing some march, we can at least make people, especially women, think for themselves, like what they should be doing. So we are at least trying to make people aware.
Yeah, this reminded me of a story. After this, Shaji is going to ask a question. When I was in, I think in 2022 or either 2021, I was in Aurat March in Lahore, and there was this small service road. Besides that, there was too much traffic, and there was this specific guy with a very long beard and generally really healthy for his own good, and he was standing on the back of a bike and he was screaming on top of his lung, because we were all there on the service road. He was screaming on top of his lungs, "Aurat March ki auraton pe Allah ki laanat," and he had this white flag on him, and I was like, wow. I mean, just a march is bothering them so much. So I think it will be a very, very long time till people here actually understand, because just the slogan of "Mera Jism Meri Marzi" pisses them off so much. They get so triggered. How dare you? But anyway, Shaji wanted to ask something.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Arisha a question. Arisha basically mentioned that religion has something to do with this entire thing. But when I look at India and Pakistan and the cultural values and how typical parents and how society behaves, you hear the same statements and exactly the same comments. For example, if even if it's a Sikh family or a Hindu family or a Muslim one, or even a Indian Pakistani Christian family, they would say you've completely made us look like people who cannot show their faces in the community. They would use the same kind of slogans. So if it was a religious issue, this would only be in specific religious communities. But it happens to be that you find this mostly in the Pakistani and Indian Punjab all the way up to Delhi, in terms of rape, eve teasing, in terms of various other things. It's very much Mirpuri, Kashmiri. On top of that, like for example, I'll also like to bring in the grooming gangs in the UK, for instance. You'll find that majority of them were either from these regions or from Mirpur and Kashmir. And that's not the majority of either Pakistan or India, for that matter, in terms of ethnicity. But how would you equate that, Arisha?
Yeah, you are quite right about it, because there are some cultures who are, I would say, more patriarchal. So yeah, there is obviously cultural influence, and the culture is almost same in whole subcontinent, and all basically these three countries: Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. Okay, so obviously culture has a lot to do with it, but I would say that religion also plays a part, because somewhere people do try to use religion to justify it. Not just Islam, even in India people use Hinduism to justify certain things. So it is like that. So basically, if you would see all the religions, they are not in the favor of women, and this is what women need to realize. Like, they should be more aware about the history, how religions were formed, how everything was formed. So basically, religions are not in the favor of women, but the point is that people use it against women. It has been happening, and this is the thing, that it is common. But if you would I would agree that you are saying that in UK whatever happened, like, most of the people who are Pakistani, they belong to certain region. But if I would say, just see a common thing. If you would just go through any influencers, any Pakistani actress or model's page, you would find misogynistic comments, under any of her picture. wherever she is, dressed, in modern clothes or whatever. And there you can't really differentiate, like, from which region those people belong, because there is a common thinking. And most of the time, whenever you would see, such comments where they want to harass any woman or slut shame her or bully her, they will give reference of their religion ultimately. Even though even though it's a culture, like women should behave that way. Even in India, such things happen, that women, they don't like if women are too modernized or they are dressed in certain way. But in Pakistan, the thing that happens is that people use religion card, that, if
Mm.
she is doing this wrong. Okay, if someone says it, oh, she's dressed like a slut. If someone would reply that, oh, how are you saying this, then he would like, okay, she claims to be a Muslim, but she's not wearing proper clothes like a Muslim lady. So people try to, use religion to justify all these
Arisha, I have
things.
to, I have to, I have to point something out to you. I don't
Yes.
think it's fair for you to say that women clothing are being always justified with that. Everything is always justified with that. You do something. Oh, this is. Let me give you an example. This thing I noticed myself. So there is this Pakistani actress who started wearing these very liberal clothing, right? So all these men on her comments are like, "Is this Islamic Republic of Pakistan?" Right? At the same time, in the same time, there was a TikToker whose very private video was leaked, right? And I was reading all the comments, and it was so scary, because all of the comments, they were not saying, "Is this Islamic Republic of Pakistan?" They were all making jokes about it on Twitter and TikTok. They were all going, "If you want the video, I have it in original sound." The
Mhm.
only time they don't like you wearing liberal clothing is when you do it on your own behalf. When
Mhm.
they do it to you by force, that is fine. Then they want the
Yes,
video
yes.
with the original sounds, right? But I would say that they don't justify it with they don't just justify that with it's just Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Usually, it's everything.
Let me chalk you over here. But she said about the Abrahamic religion, but I will let that says a biased point of view about her, because if you follow the unreligious societies like the atheistic society, you will follow that the female infanticide there were it was happened more over in not in the Islamic states, or the especially in the religion states. And one more thing, you are talking about the nationalism, like especially in Pakistan, that happened all over the world, not in only in Pakistan. That you're saying about the, if someone says that there are some he got some videos for a person, that's not about, like, it's not about the borders, and it's not about the Pakistan only. That's about the whole world. It's a mentality. You can say that you cannot point the country, you cannot point the religion for this one. That's
Yes. Oh, and
Well, I
also
mean,
what I would
But
technically,
say
Munis,
was,
if
yes, yes.
Munis, I have a question then. In that case, if it's occurring in a certain place at a certain time, for example, Pakistan consists of 5 provinces, but it happens in a particular area, and then there are some uniform issues which occur in all 5 places. Would you not say that there's a problem in that area? And
it is problem, but it is not a problem specifically in Pakistan. It's a problem for the whole world. I can say that it's a mentality of the people. You cannot say about it. It's a problem of the borders. It's a problem of the person. You can say that.
like what exactly, which problem are you conversing?
You're just pointing specifically to the religion, or you're pointing specifically to the country. That's not the way. You have to point it to the mentality of the people. And they can be exist anywhere of the world. They can be exist in United Kingdom. They can be in India. They can be in Africa. All over the world, they can be exist. That's the problem. Actually, is the mentality. It's not about the person or the country. That's actually I'm trying to say over here.
I think it's a matter of law and order. I think that counts as well. The culture and mentality, as well as how wise a community is. Like, for example, it's completely forbidden in Islam that somebody can get married to anyone but a human being of the opposite gender. But in Sindh, you have people getting married to the Quran. I mean, that is
trees,
insane on a
also trees. They also get married to trees.
also trees, and these are Muslim people. so-called Muslim people in Pakistan. But again, that's a problem specific for Sindh and southern Punjab. You won't find that in mainland Punjab or other places. So what would you put that down to? Like, would you say this is something which occurs everywhere else in Pakistan apart from Sindh? Then you won't be able to say
If you're talking about the remote areas, it happens in the remote areas, but you cannot specify the whole country for this one. These are the exceptions, and it can
so
be
we'll have to say
if you follow the cultural religion and the cultural histories, you will find that India is the most for this one. In their religion as well, they have to marry to the tree or dogs and animals. That's a different thing. We are
my
dragging the
my
conversation
point
to the
is
different.
my point is exactly what you've made. Like I when I'm talking about marriage to the Quran, I would not say entire Pakistan is indulging in that, but at the same time, we'll have to point out that there are parts in Sindh who are getting into that kind of
Can
a
I can I point something
situation.
out here? Monis, I don't think when it comes to culture we're any different than India. The Sindhis and the Punjabi, they would literally used to be Hindus. So there's not much difference that you're looking for. The Baloch, yes, they were Kurd, the Pashtun, they're from a different community, but the Punjabis and the Sindhi, they were literally Indian. So I don't see the difference. They're the same thing.
Yeah, so my point is, I'm actually the same. I'm trying to say that it's not about the culture, it's not about the borders, it's about the personality, it's about the mental state of a person actually. So you can point, it can be different the person to person, but pointing to a whole country and pointing to the whole region is not fair for this one.
I have
So
a good
what would
example.
you
I think I
point
made
it
this
to?
example before. Shaji, I
No, no,
want to make a point.
don't you think we should ask, like, if it's not culture and if it's not religion, it's clearly not religion because there are 100, there are like 50 odd Islamic countries, and if it was an Islamic thing, it would be in all of them. And then there is a significant population of Muslims in the Western countries, and you would see, for example, the grooming gangs, 160 different communities of Muslims exist in the UK, but what you'll find is only one community from one region decided to get into that. So it can't be an Islamic thing. But now the question is, if it's not culture, then what would you say that mentality is coming from? Where is it coming from then?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Mm, Uh, okay.
Yeah, continue, Rishi,
Should
you
I
can say
speak?
that.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
you should.
So, what I would say, like, as an atheist, all of the religion, they are basically byproduct, or what you would say, outcome of patriarchy. But why I would say this? Because religions, they have problem that, women should not have agency. Like, they should not have, they should not be doing things, like, by their own, and they don't have, should have, any independence. Okay. How I would say this, because even in Western culture, if you would see, there are people like, Andrew Tate, and who are very patriarchal, and who have been saying the same kind of things that, the way people say in Pakistan or India. Because what happens is, if you would, the way I would say, Maham pointed out, that, they have problem if woman herself is, wearing, like, very modern clothes, or if she is liberated, they have a problem. But if, something happens to her, or then they are completely okay with her, with it, then they don't really, shame her or anything. And this is what happens in West as well. Because if you would see, like, this culture of prostitution, or, countries having brothels, and these things has been going on since centuries. But now, in even in Western culture, people have problem with OnlyFans. Why? Because women are themselves doing it, are earning through it, and they are doing it in a safe way. And and men, probably most of the time, women are only, earning through it, and men are not getting any favor. So no, so any favor, or anything out of that, OnlyFans business. So I think this is the kind of mentality in all over the world. In West, because people are now, they are educated, they are modernized, they have left their religions, and the law is more secular, so it's a bit different. Otherwise, this patriarchal issue is very common in all the societies and all over the world, where they can't digest that woman is doing something just for herself, and she is herself responsible for whatever she is doing, and she is the one who is only getting the benefit. So this is the thing. There is a matlab, there's a whole issue, like all over the world, that men want to control women, they want to subjugate it, even in the west. And there are men like that who are very patriarchal, just like I would give the example of Andrew Tate. So this is the kind of issue. So I think the
Can
patriarchy
I,
is the common problem all
Risha, I
over
want
the
to,
globe.
everything is all well and good till we reach OnlyFans. I mean, not saying this as a war, but I don't think OnlyFan is the way you defined it. It's not just about autonomy. You should have autonomy,
Hmm,
but if you go and read about OnlyFan cases, a lot of women are not happy with what they did,
hmm,
because you are monetizing something for the same people who might not give you that right. So
hmm.
I don't think OnlyFan is a very great example of women empowerment. I just don't think that's it. I mean, there are so many women in other professions. We don't have to reduce ourselves to just our bodies.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. It's not a great example, but then again, what is woman empowerment? It's all about consent. What a woman is doing with her consent, and within the boundaries, whatever the law is providing her, that you can do it. If she is doing
Hmm.
it and there is no other, anything that she's breaching the law or anything, then she can do it. But then again, as you said, it's not a very great example. But the what I am trying to point out is the problem that men have with it. Like they never talked about it. There were never such podcasts in even western media where men were discussing that how they should shut down all the brothels, all the prostitution, all the human trafficking that has been happening since centuries. There was never such talk. But now, just you would see in just in a few years that this OnlyFans business is like working really well, and women are utilizing it. So now men have problem because they are having their own agency. They are doing it by themselves, and men are not getting the kind of favor that they wanted. And even what happens, what I would say is, like in OnlyFans business, because woman is doing it herself, so she knows what she is doing. But in other ways, when a woman is using her body, so she gets exploited because men
Risha,
are more involved
can I
into
ask
it,
a
and they
question?
don't have any right, especially sex
Risha ji,
work.
let her finish, then you can come
Oh,
in.
I thought you finished. Sorry, continue,
Yeah,
Alicia.
okay. Go
Continue.
on, Risha.
Okay, yeah. So what I was telling, I was saying that because when the women have been exploited, women have been used in prostitution and all these things, and it is never related to like woman empowerment. In fact, it's more related to human trafficking, all these things. But nobody ever complained. What they did, they just started discriminating all the sex workers, and sex workers stopped having any rights. But now when other females are doing it and they are running their own OnlyFans business, now people have problem with it. And so you can see that it's overall the mindset is like that. It's more like, and
Okay,
people
okay, okay, okay,
at what
okay,
I
okay.
have
You're right. Let me point something here. Okay,
I
finish your
just
point.
want to point something out. Give me a second. Give me a second. Arisha, do you know in on OnlyFans, there were multiple cases where girls were asked, because in that they pay you money to do certain things for them, and
Hmm,
these very perverted men used to ask women to do these very
hmm,
disgusting stuff for them. So I don't think it has changed much.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would like to also add, I don't think that even 0.1% of total men in any society have been pimps and benefiting from that business. So cutting out the middleman is not really why people have issues with OnlyFans. And that's just a fact which I don't think anyone should have a. It's not that majority of men are now losing money because they can't be pimps anymore.
No, so what I have been trying to point out is, like, people always have problem with whatever women are doing. whenever comes the topic of a family system, they only try to put pressure on women, because women are doing this, women are now too westernized, they are wearing certain clothes, they are running OnlyFans, so now our family system can't work. But the main issue is men are also involved, because women won't have been doing such things, because they are doing, because men are paying. And you can even see, if you post anything like, on YouTube or Instagram, nobody would watch you if you are wearing normal clothes, or if a woman is running, cooking business or anything, nobody would care. But if a woman starts behaving certain way, she gets appreciated. So men have, all men have a lot of uh, men have too much things to do with all this things, the way women behave. But the point is that they want to put all the responsibility of disaster of their family system or whatever on the woman. And same thing happens in Pakistan, because now, okay, Aurat March is happening, oh, now we are threatened, our family system
Okay,
will
okay,
get
okay, okay.
damaged.
Let me say something over
Women
here.
are now
That
liberated, okay, now
first
our
of all,
family system will not work. So it's all about women, like blaming women. So this is the point.
let me say something over here. First, you mentioned the religion about it. Well, we can say that religion is trying to protect the rights for the both men or women. If you have the 50-50 rights, and if you gave a person to right to change his gender as well, so the most of the lazy people, especially the men, they will change their gender and try to occupy the right which you will give the, even you have the 50-50. So that's not the problem that you are pointing out a religion. If you go beyond the religion, like if you talk about the China, India, and the secular states of the Soviet Union as well, you will find so many injustice over there for the females. Like I told you, the one of them, the major, is a female infanticide due to the one child policy in China. You know about it, but you never mentioned, because that is the atheistic society. That's a religious society, but you won't mention over it here. And the one more thing I told you, that you mentioned that everything, the whole conversation you said is based on your, that's a money making stuff and everything. So if you're talking about the religion bound a man to provide every need is belong to her women, or the family and whole everything. He's a provider. He have to provide everything. He have to earn. He have to provide everything over there. So women don't have to go to the some websites like that and show over there. She should be respected in the home. She can get everything she's trying to get over here. That's the point. Is if it's the money, then
Okay, and who will make sure that men will provide her everything? And why should men provide? Like, I would say, like, it's like you want to cut a woman's arm, hands, everything, and make her totally, paralyzed. Now a man will provide for you. You are dependent on him. So what choice then woman has, other than to be with
I
that
want to,
man, than to suffer? Now that man can exploit her. He can
I want
use
to
her
add
in whatever way.
I want to
Who will
add
yes.
make
something as
sure?
well. Give me a second. I want to add something as well, Monis. So you're saying a man should have a job, a 9 to 5 job, which he get paid for, but a woman should only have a 24 hours job for free. Is that what you're
Nobody's going to do,
suggesting?
no one is going to do the 24 hours job. It's not fair.
It is
I
being a housewife is a 24 hours job.
No, it isn't. It is not.
It is. It is.
Oh, prove me on that. It's not. It's if you say that theoretically, or if you are blaming someone, that's fine. Then
Isn't
you
your
come
wife,
from.
if your wife is a housewife, isn't she always available to do all the work? Is that the reason why she is housewife? No?
But the culture you are providing, there,
Any day,
she is more.
anytime, 24
If if
seven.
if you follow
In
the
your
if you the
office, call
follow
me
if,
after office hours.
no if you follow the
In an office.
circumstances you are talking about, in that state, women have to work 9 to 5 for employer. Then she have to work. If she is a single mother, she have to take care of babies. Then she will come back from the job. She have to take care of her home stuff as well. Here she is a 247.
Why do
I
you
can
need
say
your wife
that
to work at
she
your
will
home
get
as well?
more
Why can't
free
you
time
keep a
over there if
servant?
you follow the family rules. Yes.
Why don't you keep a servant? Why does she have to do your chores for free? Or maybe you should keep a salary for her for doing all the chores for you.
If she can afford it, yeah, she can do that.
Why can
Also,
she? Why should she afford it? Why can't you afford it? Why shouldn't you both do it? It's your
Yeah.
house.
Yes.
This don't
Yes.
just
Yes.
belong
Yes.
to
Yes.
us. This
if
doesn't
if
belong to
if
us.
if two-person are agree, it's okay for them. It's not, but there are some limitations according to law, the Islamic law, They, I told you about the fundamentals. The Islam also provide the fundamentals about the women law as well. They
Yeah,
gave
Hazrat
her many.
Khadija was a businesswoman. Hazrat Khadija was a businesswoman, and Hazrat Aisha went to war.
Yeah, that's fine. What about that?
Yeah, but Islam never said just sit at home and do nothing, right?
Also, also what I would say is being a housewife is not a very fruitful kind of a job, because if you compare it to any normal job, okay, you get the retirement plan, okay, you get security, but being a housewife is no security. Any day a man can divorce you, and the hard work that you have been doing since 20 years can go into, vain. Nobody would care. Okay, you
Mm.
are raising a certain, man's kid, and he might not even care about you. He might just marry another younger girl, and then what option will you have other than to tolerate that other wife and everything? So this is the thing. I think a normal job is a better job, because obviously you have a security that after 20 years you will get the retirement plan, you will get, your medical allowance, you will get your salary, your paycheck. But what about what is the security? How is it? I don't think so. Being a housewife is a very secure position to be in, to be honest. So the men should not compare it, because I have seen
And you
men
and
doing
you
it.
can and you can say that your employer is a guarantee for your whole life.
No,
No,
not
but
for
her
whole life,
degree
but
is,
at
her
least you get the
experience is,
experience. You get
her
experience certificate.
experience
You can
is,
be hired
yeah.
anywhere else. But once you are used as a housewife for 20 years, you even get because even if you have worked somewhere and you leave that job, or you get terminated or anything, you can get another better job. But as a
Mhm.
woman, now you are used, now you have reproduced 4 kids or something, no other man will take you as another wife.
Mhm.
And if someone will take you as third, fourth, fifth wife, and that man would not be of a very, won't be a very good option for you. So it's
Every,
like that. That's not a
every
good kind of
everything
thing.
everything I can understand you saying this about the money related stuff, and then that women, if a woman is earning, that she can do everything she wants, like. But again, it's depend on your employer. If you allow an employer to have multiple employees, so why can't a person, if he can afford the multiple wives, he can afford that. That's
So
not a big
this is
difference, but
this
the
is the
problem.
difference. You are talking about a relationship, and I can't build relationship like that. That I would see some man that he's my master. I would like to build a relationship with man, seeing him as someone who is equal to me, who is compatible to me. I can relax with him.
Now,
I can talk
what is
to
the
him. I
guarantee
can
that
enjoy with him,
your
not
employer is
as my
not your
master, not as
employer is
someone
not
who has
going to,
hired me. So
what is guarantee that employer is
there
not
should
going
be a
to cause.
difference.
Yes. There are so many different, like I
No,
can say that.
what did you say? What is the guarantee that your employer what? I'm very interested in that question.
No, there are so many circumstances there that if you are doing everything for your employer, you can do for your husband as well. There is no big deal.
Yeah, but that is for free. Know the
No,
difference.
it's not for free.
It
Everything
is
is
for
money
free.
related. If he's
Yeah,
providing
no,
you,
no, no.
if
You don't even,
he
they don't even get appreciated. They don't even get appreciated, let alone to
your
get paid.
your employer is not going to give you the home for stay. He's not going to take care of your stuff, say like your clothes and
Yeah, but
everything.
that's, they're
He
not going
just
to
give
do
you
that
he
for
just
men
give you
as
a
well.
specific money for that,
But
and
that's,
then
they're
you
not
have to
going to
buy
do that
everything
for
for
men
that.
as well. So they're not going to do that for men as well. So why don't you just
Hmm.
leave that job? Where's the gender there? What's the gender there? It's the same for everyone. So I guess.
Yeah, but you're wrong here. But I told you that the whole conversation is standing on the money and the buying of stuff. If you
Yes,
need the money to
money is the power. That is why men are made provider. That is why men are having power, because they are
but even
earning.
even if you even if
If
you
women
can
will
get,
earn, they will have
if
their
if
choice.
you if women is leading the world, if you can lead that, go ahead, lead. Who stops you? But their problem is that the women are basically, they are not the leader born leaders, so they cannot lead. If you can give me an example of some employer that she's a woman and she can leading to the big community over here. Do you have any example for that?
New
Many women
Zealand's
have
prime
done that
minister was
in
a
past.
woman.
No, she's a prime minister. Is just a job for the 5 years? Give me a name of some entrepreneur. Yes.
She
I
actually had
would
a
like
very good uh,
hold on,
track
hold on,
record.
guys. Hold on. So, Moniz, if I don't want to misquote you, but I'd like to ask you a question. Do, do you believe that women as individuals cannot be leaders or should not be
Women
in
are
certain?
not born leaders.
Hmm?
Women are not born leaders. She
On
cannot. She needs someone. If you're talking about Hazrat Khadija for that,
no,
she
no, I'm
needed
not talking
but
about.
for her
I'm
business as
not
well.
talking
Yes.
about anyone. I'm just trying to get your opinion out there. Is there Islamic quote or a hadith, or does it say in the Quran from the Muslim perspective that a woman cannot be a leader or are not born leaders?
Yes, it is mentioned in the Quran that men are the leader and the provider of the
No,
home.
it mentions men should lead in certain aspects. I agree, but does it say anywhere that women are created not to be leaders? Does it state that?
It's not about the creation; it's about the mentality. If you follow the psychological
So
rules over
according
here,
to us, we are Muslims. We are Muslims. We believe that Allah basically created.
beyond the
So
religion,
my question is,
if we follow the psychological system here,
does Islam prove, or is that a statement? Would that be? Can it be proven using Islam that women are not leaders or are born without the skills of leadership?
I'm telling about if you think beyond the religion, if you follow the psychological rules and the psychological
So
fundamentals.
religion doesn't say it. So let's get so religiously, you would agree that Islam specifically does not
If
state
you're talking
that
about the
women.
born, if you're talking about the creation, the creation is not mentioned. But if you follow about that the men's are the leader, that's mentioned in Islam. That
In
men's are.
certain aspects, you're leaders of women in certain positions who are related to you, right?
Yes,
In
because
certain
you are
in
because
certain aspects. But having said that, a woman is also leading in certain aspects Islamically when her role is defining that. So I don't think you would have an issue with that. Now let's move on to
you give
2020.
you
Can I
actually
just
I
point
told
something
you.
out here? Can I point
Yes,
something out
yes.
here? The reason that Moniz thinks that women are not good leaders is because there was never a woman who started a war. It was always a man who started war, who killed children and created chaos around the world. The
No,
reason for
you
corruption is.
haven't read the
I'm not done
history.
yet.
I think
Moniz,
you
I'm not
haven't
done
read
yet.
the history.
Moniz, I'm
You're
not done
talking
yet.
about.
I'm not done. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Please stop. Most of the wars in the world started by men, for men, uh, destroying other men. So it's easy to say that men are better leaders because they're better at analyzing other people.
I think that again is a generic statement, but coming back to what I was trying to get at, and it's very important aspect. So religiously, is there any proof that women are Islamically stated that they cannot be leaders or are not born with the inherent ability of leadership? Mona.
Also, there is one hadith, but what I would say scientifically, it is more like there are leadership qualities that some men, some women possess. And because I have been working in medical field, I have seen people like there are certain men who can't lead because they don't have those qualities. Whereas there are certain women who are very assertive. They can lead and they can be good in that role.
So
So I
so
have
my
seen women doing that.
my question would be in terms of raising children, educating them in terms of Islamic perspective, in terms of controlling the family, who's leading in aspects of nurturing to begin with in those regards according to Islam. Moniz? Who leads? Is it the woman who controls the daily happenings of a household, or is it the man?
Are you talking about the housewife or are you talking about the working women?
Think about the housewife.
And if she's a housewife, the stuff that is related to the household and everything, she have
Is
to take the household stuff like that. Yes, that's
that
not.
right?
Actually, we are discussing so many things over here. It's not about the topic. Actually,
So
we
because
were
no,
talking
no,
about the
no,
women right.
hold on. It's very much related. It's related because that's why I asked you before we basically began the conversation that do you actually believe that women cannot lead or are inherently born with precluding leadership skills? And
It is according to the psychology.
it's not according to the to Islam, at least. It's according to other faculties, is what my point is. Now let's look at what's happening at this moment in time in the Western organizations, and I'll give you a very interesting fact. So 2019 became the first year where in mid management in major corporations around Europe and as well as in the United States and North America, women are now superseding men in those management roles. And what you see in specifically corporate areas, it's a matter of time. It's that management which basically converts into CEOs. So in next 5 years, you're going to see a huge number of women who are going to be in those positions, not because they are going to be chosen to be in those positions, but because internally they're going to, at some stage, or even if they go for another job, are going to be promoted to those positions. There are not enough men in those positions as it is to be promoted. So that is becoming pretty egalitarian. And that kind of goes against that factor as well. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
The one thing you mentioned about the jobs and the CEOs, if she's a capable to do that, it's okay. What's the problem with that? Actually, there's no problem if someone is capable for that. But the mention everything you mentioned, like the whole conversation you tell. First, you give me an example for the religion. So I have some problem over here that it's not about the religion. I told you that it's about the mentality. And the second thing, the Maham, you said about there is no war initiated from the women. If you read the history, you must know that there are several women who initiated the wars, like the Rani of Jhansi and so many women over there, like 6 to 7 figure over here that they have initiated everything. And
She did not
yes,
initiate the war, she was defending, first of all. Secondly,
oh
please
no,
refer to the Forbes document where it says that the Ready Now Leaders report from the conference board show that organizations with at least 30% women in leadership roles are 12 times more likely to be in the top 20% for financial performance. Research from Leadership Cycle based on assessment with over 84,000 leaders and 1.5 million raters comprising boss, boss's boss, peer, direct reports, and others show that female leaders show up more effectively than their male counterpart across every role and age. Well, so you were saying.
Also, also, I would say it has more to do with culture, because now the culture is, changing in West, and it has been changed. So people over there, they are not following those specific, gender roles. So now women have room to be in those positions where men used to be. And if you would see this thing, like in especially in our Eastern culture, women are not seen as good drivers. Okay, and why this is because, women generally are not encouraged to be in leadership roles since their childhood. They are even not encouraged to be good in sports. You won't see many women going outside, because obviously the whole environment is patriarchal and unsafe for women, whereas compared to West, it is seen that women are better drivers. Why? Because they can multitask. When they are driving, they are more focused, and generally they avoid more accidents. Why? Because they have more empathy. They are, they are more empathic. They don't do reckless driving. So these are the things. So this is what culture, and these patriarchal norms have effect on everything. So that is why these norms need to be, changed in Pakistan as well. So we would find women more in leadership roles and doing all those works that men are doing. And whereas you are saying that, women are physically weak, but you can see, if you see, like, I would say IDF or Israel Defense Force, women are effectively participating in it, and since their childhood they are trained how to, be in defense forces. So it is like that, because in certain cultures women are encouraged, in other women are not. So obviously you will see other women, where, the culture is favorable, you will see them performing the same kind of roles that men are doing. So I think that is why, we should work against these patriarchal norms in Pakistan and all over the subcontinent.
Okay, I want to bring the conversation back to a particular point, and then we have another video to share as well. So my question over here is, whenever women's rights or such a conversation is brought up in Pakistan, why is there an outcry? Is there a specific kind of things which are irking people? Because I don't want to believe for a second that there are people who would want their sisters or their daughters not going to school or college. I do not believe for a second that there would be people, and I am hoping that majority of Pakistanis are not like that, that they would want their daughters or their sisters or their mothers to be beaten up in certain situations, or when they're going out in society, they are looked at in a certain way, they are touched in a certain way, offensively, they're harassed, or even if it's not of sexual nature, it's even harassment just for being weaker or being intimidated. So that's where the next uh, section of this conversation would entail. And is there something which these women are doing incorrect in terms of who are representing the Aurat March, or there's a certain segment of them which is not acceptable to the Pakistani society? Where is this outcry coming from? First, I'll go to Maham, then I'll go to Arisha, and then I'll go to Monis. Go ahead, Maham.
I think Arisha should go first and I'll go after her.
Okay, what I would say, like some people, I think you won't agree, but I would say religion has something to do with it. You know why? Because these kind of marches happen everywhere, in every other country, but these are not marches are not opposed in the way, you would find in Pakistan. You would see Haya March, political parties like Jamaat Islami organizing Haya March in opposition of Aurat March. You won't see such things happening anywhere in the country, because obviously people are not very educated as well, because they, whenever you raise your voice, so they try to link it with the Western propaganda, Western culture, and then Yahudi sazish or something like that. So this is also one point. And but they feel like, because they think that basically the mindset of whole Pakistani society is that women should be subjugated, they should take permission from men, especially who are their mahram. So they do not like this idea that women should be responsible, they should be taking their own decisions. It is not encouraged even in normal societies. I come from educated family, but again, you are told, because you are a girl, you have certain limits. Oh, you can become a doctor, or you can get the degree, but if you want to go out anywhere, you will have to take the permission of your brother, of your father. But no one would have the same rule for a son. So there is like this is the whole kind of a mindset there. I would say there are very few families who are very, I would say, modernized or something. But generally, the concept is then women should be controlled. So this is why they are opposing this Aurat March, because they think that if women will not be controlled, then obviously it's a man nature to do whatever, and there won't be then any family or any family values or anything. And if we see family values, those family values are not good. Even they don't they are good for nothing. They haven't produced anything that is, I would say, good or productive or anything. So but I would say that religion has its part to do with it, because you won't see women wearing burqas coming and marching just in front of other women who are just celebrating their women's day, just Aurat March. They are obviously, and you will see other, like, they just don't have the problem with the slogans or everything. They have problem why they are dancing, why there is music, although there is no vulgarity. And also it's just about women. It's or and you would see one thing, that why they are threatened with women, they only associate Aurat March, these things, with vulgarity. Whereas if you see Pakistani showbiz, their own theater, their stage dramas, they are very vulgar. But why? Because men are enjoying it, men are paying for it, then it's okay, because men are liking it. But Aurat March, okay, women are now demanding that they won't cook for you, and they won't find your socks or anything. Now you are creating a fuss about it. Although there are many incidences where women have been killed because they didn't make roti or something like that. So these things have happened. So those all slogans are very valid. Also this, they have the problem with mera jism meri marzi. So you should think that why they only have the problem with this slogan, because they can't think beyond women. Like, women is a whole human being. They just think that she is a jism itself. If you will see this word, or it's an Arabic word which means genitals, private parts. So for them, woman is just a private part. They want to control her private part. They want to just see her. They just see her as a body, which only purpose is to be sexualized or to produce kids. That's it. So that's a problem. Otherwise, why they don't have problem with other things? So and also I don't know why only Aurat March is linked with vulgarity and everything. You can see that in madrasas children are raped, but no one is doing march for it. No Jamaat Islami is uh, doing any march or against that madrasa culture or anything, but just Aurat March. So this is the point.
Achha, I want to add something here. I agree with most of the things she said but I think it's not about vulgarity or anything or religion. It's about the mindset of men, where they say that if you're going to be if you're going to be vulgar, I'm going to make it happen. That's why we have stage dramas and movies
Mhm.
and all these Lollywood movies and item songs, which they totally love. Pakistan is always on top of streaming porn activity. Most girls are not doing it, men are doing it. So that's all justified. But the moment a woman wants to take control of themselves, that's a problem there. So it's not much of a religion. But and this Aurat thing, it's a Hindutva propaganda, my sister. Aurat means to cover. It doesn't mean the
But still, why should women cover? They are not object.
well, that's one thing, but I think the other part is like this is it's just a propaganda. Just want to let you know. But I wanted to point out something else. I just really want to point this out. I know it's a little off track, but I don't think Pakistani women in general are ready for feminism and women rights. Why? Because I have seen, whenever I see women claiming to be a feminazi, let alone a feminist, she will always attack women. Especially when it comes to men, when a man tell me that he's a feminist, I keep a distance from him, because most feminist men will use that opportunity to attack other women with the support of other feminists. And just because she has an opinion, for example, if somebody wants to cover up, these men will attack her or do something, and all these women will support it. Personally, I've been attacked by many women who were claiming to be feminist and saying all kind of misogynist things about me, whenever it was convenient, just because there was a disagreement of opinion. So generally, I don't think that Pakistani women and even Indian women as a whole are ready for this. It's just a personal experience I'm sharing.
What I would say in this matter is that there are, some feminists, and I would say that women themselves are very, internally uh, misogynistic, and I don't know what's wrong with them, because I have also personally experienced, something like that, that some women try to even pretend to be feminist, but then again, because they are so much brainwashed, conditioned, that somewhere they start, having animosity with you and everything. So things, I think it will take a lot of time when women will actually understand feminism. Some women just don't even understand feminism. There is
Yeah,
a point, but
yeah,
but then again, yes, yes, but
go
then
on, go on.
again, if there are certain men who are feminist, or women who are attacking other women who are having their opinion, but then again, those opinion, like I can tell you, like there are some women, I would say, like Maria B, because you can totally see whatever she is saying, just she's just doing for attention, just to earn some followers, and now she is vacationing in US, and again, she has been collecting funds for Palestine, but now she is in US, and spending all those what I would say, funds on brands, okay, US brands, and obviously facilitating genocide or whatever you would say. So, but there are certain women who have to be criticized, because they are just doing it, to get the attention, and all of these. And there is another lady, I would say, she gets very viral in Pakistan, Dr. Nabiha. She continuously says misogynistic things. I think these women should be criticized. Otherwise, what else would
I'm
you
not.
do? You can't just
Look, I'm
criticize
not. I'm
men.
not. No, no, no. I'm not talking about general people like Maria B who try to impose her opinion on other people. I'm not talking about that. But when if a woman say that, I'm just saying that feminism literally mean let the woman be what she want to be. So if a
Hmm.
woman tell me that she wants to wear a burqa and housewife, I will support her, right? At the same time, if a woman tell me she wants to be a model and she wants to wear a bikini, I will support her as well. But the problem with most of these women are that they will support the bikini one, but they will never support the burqa one. She will always be attacked. And I've seen this on social media and so many times, and especially these men who pretend to be feminists, they will be uh, always ahead in attacking such women because they think they have the card to just attack women. And all these most of the feminists, I consider myself a feminist, but I do not identify with those kind of people because I've just seen so much hypocrisy in that sense. So I don't think Pakistani as a general is ready. Maria B herself is a very hypocrite person. Like, look at her brand, the kind of clothes she promotes in Islam. Such expensive clothes, most of them showing bellies and most of them sleeveless. I mean, if you're going to talk about Islam, what is that, right? But they don't want to talk about that because that will hurt her brand. But that's what I'm saying. On both sides, there is just so much hypocrisy that I don't think that they're ready for it.
Okay, if you I would say, if you ask me personally, so because I have criticized hijab, I won't attack some women, because I don't know like why she is wearing a burqa. But if you will ask me as an atheist, so I don't find it empowering, because itself hijab and burqa is not a choice. If you see your religion is basically what I would say, kind of forcing you to wear that hijab. If you will see the hadith and the concept of
No,
hijab, I
a
don't
lot of,
find it
a lot of.
right.
Hey, Arisha, I think there are many women who do it of their own choice. I belong to a general, very liberal
No,
family. All of my popos are doctors. And
religion
I'm
gives you
just
no
making a
choice,
point.
so you don't have
No,
choice.
no, no, I don't think that's true. All of us cousins, we don't wear hijab or niqab. My cousin in Australia, she wears niqab, she wears abaya just because she wants to, right? Nobody's forcing her to do that, and nobody's forcing us to wear anything differently, right? So a lot of people wear it But then there's a difference. If somebody is forced into it, of course I don't support that. But if somebody really wants to wear a hijab because she feels like it, she should be allowed to do that. She should
Okay,
not
okay,
be
okay.
attached to it.
Let me give you just one sentence over here. If you're talking about the religion already provide you a exception over here. If you have no shame, you can do whatever you want. I would like to show some slogan over here. Like if you're talking about this is the rights about this, and you want something like this, then it's okay. It's your choice. But the religion already told you if you have no shame, you can do whatever you like.
No,
So
why sex slave were not allowed to wear hijab? Why their satar was different?
no,
Why
no,
they
no,
were
no.
not
Just a moment.
respected
Just a
in
moment. Just a
Islam?
moment. Let me show you some slogan from the Aurat March.
So hijab
If you
was
allow,
why
if
hijab
you
was not choice for those
yeah,
non-Muslim women.
can you
Arisha,
please allow me? Can you
you
please
do
allow me to show
realize,
some slogan over here?
give me a honest, I just want to make one point. Arisha, you do realize that burqa basically became compulsory when Hazrat Umar bin Khattab came into power. Before that, only the Prophet family used to wear burqa. It was not exactly that compulsory. Yeah, you go on, Manes.
I was talking about the slogans on the or you were talking about the Women March. I would like to show some slogan over here if you allow me that. You want to show those slogans over here? Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sure. We don't mind.
Just a moment. Let me show you one thing over here first. Yes. Is it the right you want?
Yeah,
Bad guy
there's
says,
nothing
what's
wrong with
wrong with
it. We
this?
have two legs
What's wrong
just like
with this?
men.
What's wrong
Men
with this? Please
also
explain
go.
to me.
I have seen men. They have. They try to. What I would say, I have seen men. Doing very weird things openly.
Okay. Say something
So
about this.
what is wrong in that? Women can sit like anything. That is why you would see that most of the women, they are not able to sit on bike properly because they are
Okay.
told that they should keep their legs closed.
Okay. And you want to open your legs, yeah?
There is nothing wrong
Wow,
with it.
that is a very good.
Don't
No,
men open their
I'm
seriously.
legs?
just asking.
How is
I'm,
how is
no,
what
no,
is
no,
wrong? How is
I'm
that a
just asking
problem
you.
for you?
No,
You
no,
just
How
said
is
hold
how is
on,
that a
hold
problem?
on, hold on, please. So attaching a connotation, I am sure this connotation was attached into a certain way, but even making that connotation in terms of a comfort level and then attaching that to a certain connotation on both sides is not going to be very progressive, is it? It's not going to result in anything
let me
because
show you one. Let me show you. Let me show you one more
whoever
slide.
hold on, anyone on either side of promotion of it in a sexual context, whether they're using it for pro-feminism or against it, is not doing justice to women's rights. These are not women's rights to
No,
attach
you,
sexual
you you
connotation
are
to it.
finding it vulgar because you see women as
I'm
sexual
not
objects. Men
saying this.
always sit with their legs open.
Okay,
So,
okay,
What is
okay.
wrong with it? Do we
If
ever
you
see that
allow me,
we can
hold
see your
hold on.
penis or we can see your balls
Let
or
me
anything?
rephrase myself. Let me rephrase myself so it's very clear to everyone. If it's speaking about women trying to be comfortable in
Yes.
society, it's a different thing. If it is being associated to women opening legs, either way, in a sexual connotation, uh, in either way, whether it's a woman doing it or a man saying it in a rebuttal, or that's the understanding which people are getting
that's
out
my
of
point.
that.
That's my
And,
point. Actually, that's my
but
point. Actually.
you did the exact thing as well when she clearly explained to you that she was speaking about comfort. You said, "Oh, so you want rights to
Yeah,
open legs?"
let me clear myself, Shah. Yeah, there are so many other ways to talk about. That's. Don't you think that this is the miscommunication over here?
Yes, so that miscommunication is an issue, and that's been rectified this year. That has been rectified this year,
Okay,
and
okay,
that's
okay, okay. Allow me to show one.
Why
Allow
no,
me to show one
I just
thing.
want to ask Moniz one question. Why do you think a girl sitting a certain way is an invitation for you?
Hmm.
Why do you think that? What
it's
will
not.
solidarity?
I'm not talking about the invitation, but actually, you're not came alone in this war. You have your brother, your family, your sister, and
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm pretty
You're
sure
related
brothers
to
will
the
not
so
do
many.
such.
You related to the so many cultural issues. You relate to the so religion, and that you have to balance your society as well.
Somehow
So
that
my
should help
problem. So my
us to
point is,
get more
saying that you have to create a balance over here. You don't have to create the
by
mess.
putting my legs a certain way.
Such
That's the balance you want,
such
because
slogan
that's
are
the only
creating
thing
mess.
you see.
Actually, the problem is that the such slogan creating the mess, whereas they are not creating the balance.
No, I think it's
So
your brain, Monis. I think it's you. You coming up with, oh, opening her legs just because she's sitting in a comfort. You're the problem, not the girl.
Also, you know why slogans are made in such a way that they can grab the attention. They can, this is why they are making, because
but
women, they
I
have.
already told you, this is a miscommunication. You can say this in certain different ways as well. That you can say, we are uncomfortable on sitting the bike. Then
I think it would be
can't you
correct.
find any other
Not
alternatives?
just bike, not
Words
just
like
bike.
this?
You know what happens? I
Hold
will tell you
on,
because
hold on, Risha. I think Monish does have one point which is there. I don't agree with the connotation he attached to it. But if that is your society, if that is majority of your society, your mode of communication needs to be much clearer. If what you're trying to do is empowerment of a certain class of people, because if Monish is thinking that, I am sure, and I don't condone it. I find it sick. But 90% of Pakistani men are going to view this in a sexual way and they're going to laugh at it. And you know that. So I do believe that it's also important to
It is not me, Shaji. It is not me. Let me show
Shadi,
you.
you
Let me show
think,
you one more slogan over here. Just a moment. Just allow
Shadi,
me
are
to
you
show one
trying to
more.
tell me that
Please, please,
Monis
please.
is one of those
Yes.
men?
No, no,
Are
I'm
you
not
trying
one
to
of
tell me
those.
that? Yeah, most
don't
probably you're one of those men.
No. I'm just trying to. Shaji, please allow me to show one more slogan over here from
go ahead.
Aurat March. Yeah, just one minute. Before watching screen, remove the media. It says just one minute. It's asking me to remove the media first. Just one
Hold on, I'll put it there once you. Yeah, there we go. I let me do the transitioning. Hold on. So
Yeah. And what about what will you say, Maham and Arisha, about this, man?
there is nothing wrong, because these are the terms that people have been using for women, especially women who get
Yes.
divorced or who behave differently. Even
Who
even
gets a
for working
job?
women, women,
Yeah, who has
So,
made
men use
so
this
friends?
kind of words.
actually,
Arisha,
my point over here is that there are so many things that it's a communication gap. It's a miscommunication,
no,
actually.
this was
No, no, you are
so
just,
that's what
you
I'm.
are.
Hold on, hold on.
Hmm.
This was a communication gap. I would agree with you. This year, this has not happened.
Yes,
So
yes.
we have to
Actually,
make.
this is my point to raise. You can
So,
say
so,
you
what
can ask your.
to? What was it corrected to is something this year because Maryam Nawaz happens to be a female. And
Yes.
on top of that, because Maryam Nawaz basically took over this year in various ways. So I think we'll find out tomorrow or day after what Aurat March was actually going to be. But so far, what we're seeing, I think it's time to play that video as well. Uh, Let me just set that up. But Maham, I think you wanted to say something. Go ahead. But I think uh, the slogans which you're showing, Monas, are basically from previous marches. This was a communication gap
Also,
to it.
also, I
My
do think.
actually
Huh.
my
why
whole
is
point over here is
there are women getting raped and harassed in this country, and
Hmm.
men are worried about slogans. Wow.
Yes, unnecessary. You
I'm
are
no, no.
pointing
confused.
out unnecessary
And
things.
you're saying there's no law and order and there's no
There is no law
enforcement.
and order. There is a rape emergency in Punjab, please.
And you're saying that in Europe there's no rape. There's a zero cases in India.
Why?
Is a
What is
secular
it?
country.
What about? Aren't you Islamic Republic of Pakistan? Aren't you? Don't you pretend to be the big
You actually
integrated
pointing a
Muslim
single country.
brotherhood?
That's a
Why are
problem.
you
That's a
comparing
problem.
us
Actually,
with
you're
them?
pointing a single country and you saying that the whole world
Because
is
we're
safe and only
country.
Pakistan has the
Destroy
problem.
this country. I live in
That's bias.
you know,
This is
That's
the
bias.
problem.
you know
No, no,
why we are
you're wrong
pointing
there.
out this
That's
country?
bias point of
Because
view.
women get raped and they can't report. They don't go to report. Why? They get honor killed, and they are called these words, avara,
And
badchana.
how
They
do
are
you know
called these
if
words,
they
and
can't
that is
report?
why
How
they
do
are
you know
putting it
about
as
it?
slogan. You know why?
No,
Because they
no,
are
no,
like,
no,
okay,
no,
we
no.
don't care. We don't care. Call
If
us
they
avara, call us
if they
badchanam. We
can't
will do what we want to do. That is what
if
they
they
are doing,
can't
because
go to
these words are used for such women who get raped, who get harassed, so that they don't take any action.
making noises doesn't make you that you
No,
have a
this is
logic
what
in
Making
this is what
noise, making
I
noise
can
is
tell you
about
my
to
even
make
personal
out is not
story.
to make your point. Yeah, making noise
and,
is about to make
and,
आगे
your
बढ़ती है तो वो
if
महज
they are
एक
not
फर्द
going
ही
to
नहीं
if they
बल्कि
are not
एक मुआशरे की तरक्की होती है इसीलिए 8 मार्च इंटरनेशनल
देखा, यही तरीका है आप लोगों को चुप कराने।
वुमेन डे खवातीन के हकूक और इनकी खिदमात को तस्लीम करने के लिए मनाया जा रहा है। आज का दिन इस बात का अज़्म भी है कि हमें एक ऐसे मुआशरे को तश्कील देना है जहाँ पे खवातीन को बराबर के हकूक मिल सकें। पाकिस्तान की खवातीन हमेशा से ही बासलाहियत तो रही हैं, मगर इनको हमेशा से ही अपॉर्चुनिटीज की कमी का सामना भी रहा है। लेकिन आज जब क़यादत एक ऐसी खातून के हाथ में है जो खुद मजबूत, बाशऊर और विजनरी लीडर हैं, तो खवातीन की तरक्की महज एक ख्वाब नहीं बल्कि हकीकत बन चुकी है। जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रही हूँ वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज शरीफ, जिन्होंने न सिर्फ खवातीन को दरपेश चैलेंजेस को समझा बल्कि ऐसे अमली इकदामात भी किए जो न सिर्फ खवातीन को महफूज बल्कि खुद मुख्तार भी बना रहे हैं। पंजाब में पहली मर्तबा वर्चुअल वुमेन पुलिस स्टेशन का कयाम अमल में आया, जहाँ खवातीन अपनी शिकायत दर्ज करवा सकती हैं, उन्हें कानूनी मुआवनत मैसर है और सबसे बढ़कर इन्हें तहफ़्फ़ुज़ का एहसास दिया जा रहा है। मुलाज़मत पेशा खवातीन के लिए वर्किंग वुमेन हॉस्टल का आगाज इन खवातीन के लिए एक बड़ी सहूलत है जो अपने घरों से दूर रहकर रोजगार के लिए बाहर निकली हैं। अब इन्हें महफूज और मयारी रिहाइश की फिक्र नहीं। खवातीन की हिफाजत किसी भी मुहज़्ज़ब माशरे की बुनियादी जिम्मेदारी है और इसी मकसद के तहत वुमेन सेफ्टी ऐप मुतारिफ करवाई गई, जो किसी भी सूरत हाल में फौरी मदद फराहम करती है। माओ की सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी उनके बच्चे होते हैं और अक्सर यही वजह बन जाती है कि वो अपनी मुलाजमत या अपनी तालीम को जारी नहीं रख सकती। इसी मसले को समझते हुए वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज शरीफ की जानिब से डे केयर सेंटर भी कायम किया गया। इसके अलावा खेल के मैदान में खवातीन को यकसा मौके फराहम करने के लिए पेंग गेम्स का आगाज भी किया गया, जहां हमारी नौजवान खवातीन ने अपनी सलाहियतों का लोहा मनवाया। आज यौम खवातीन के मौके पर हम सलाम पेश करते हैं वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज शरीफ को और उन तमाम खवातीन को जो रुकावटों को तोड़कर मुआशरे में अपना मुमताज मकाम बनाने की कोशिश कर रही हैं।
So that was on behest of the CM of Punjab, Mariam Nawaz. If we're going to have a look, this was in Urdu. I am hoping many people here do understand.
Okay, Shaji,
Let me complete. Let me give the credits first. So now the question is all the things which and the initiatives which she has taken, and she's taken control of the march in those regards. These are active programs. I'm not a Noon League supporter. I'm sure no one else is. Most of those initiatives are in cohesion with the UN women empowerment programs as well. Now,
yes.
These are some real issues in regards to that. I think, and I reckon, this is a huge facelift. When we talk about these slogans and these things and everything else in terms of gender wars, which in my opinion, a lot of Pakistani people, men more than women, have gotten confused because at looking at podcasts and sound bites from Europe and the US, where societies have different problems, they're not as egalitarian in Pakistan as at this stage in time. Pakistan is not egalitarian as them at this stage in time. Pakistani issues are way more different. Pakistani issues in terms of pregnancy, in terms of rights to education, for example. We're going to look at figures later on. We compiled a presentation in regard.
Just let me say on one statement and then you can continue.
Did I interrupt you
the
when
video
you were?
you showed me here?
Did I interrupt you when you were?
I totally appreciate that video. This is the way of communication.
Hold on. Did I
The way
interrupt
of
you,
action.
Mona?
Let me say
Monis.
one thing, right? Just
Yeah,
let me say
I'm
one
going to
thing.
come. I'll give you the first opportunity to speak. All I'm doing is conversing and setting the tone of the subject. If you want to come in, I'll come to you first. It's okay. We're here to have a conversation, right? So the question over here is very, very simple. When we're going to confuse it onto silly slogans of upper middle class women and upper middle class men, who it doesn't apply to the rest of your country. It doesn't
It does
apply
apply.
to that.
It does apply. It does apply. I will
No,
tell you why they have used such things. Okay, I'm fine. I am like bachala navara, because these words are used for women from lower class to upper class. Okay, you
no.
won't
That's
see any
not
man
what my point is.
being called
My
slut or
point is,
anything. So women should own
Arisha,
these words
Arisha, that's not what
instead
I'm
of being
implying.
ashamed. Yes,
Arisha, that is
You,
certainly not what I'm applying. What I am applying over here is that there are some serious issues, but the
hmm.
level of conversation, which it's when it's reduced to just sexual conversation between men and women. This person is beharer, this person doesn't care, this person is that, and that person is that, then it's undermining the entire effort, isn't it? Really, it is.
No,
I don't know what
how?
you think.
How don't like women from lower class, they what I would say, they call it karokari, where they just blame one woman that that woman is bachalan, and I don't know, she should be killed, or she should be just married off to some older guy, or I don't know what
So
they do.
don't
So
you
these
think that
things have
that
been happening.
reflects
Honor
the
killing is common in
yes? So
lower class
don't you
everywhere.
think so? These are real issues you're conversing about.
Yes.
But when I see two people from upper middle class and above having this conversation, do you know what they're talking about? They're talking about औरतों को क्या हकूक चाहिए? What rights do women want? They have everything. Women are stupid. Men are stupid. All men are like this. All women are like this. It's not about these serious issues. It's never about these serious issues. They just think they've already made their minds up. This person is an asshole. This woman is a slut. And that's where it is. So I promised Monis I'm going to come to him. So Monis, go ahead.
okay, Sherry, thank you so much for giving me a chance. First of all, the video you shown me, I'm totally appreciate that video, and I'm 100% agree with that. These are the actually rights you should uh, you should address the rights of like this. I'm okay that they are doing something progressive. That's the way, and that's the actually communication. This is the gap actually I was trying to point out, that they gave you you gave me the very reasonable point over here to claim that if you're using a bad word, if you go to the some like if you I will give you an example. For if you go to the court and you put such words over there to the judge, he's first of all he's going to he will say that go learn some behavior first, and then I will address you, and then come and address your issue. So the main thing is, if you have some
No,
issues
so
and you need
men are
rights,
judged.
you have
Men are judged. They should allow women to have
even
rights. Women can't take their own
even women,
decisions.
a judge will she will won't allow you to use the bad words or in the court.
No, no,
So
no. It's not about judgment. Women are just asking for their rights from society, not from
and
men.
the
Men
bad
who
words
are
are
the
your
judge.
rights. Yeah, are you saying that bad words are your rights?
No, what is
Stop
bad in
using
that?
that for
But
women.
your society
Stop
uses
using
those
that
words.
for women.
Avara bachchan, you never had problem with the word, but now
But
we are
nobody
using
appreciate that. Nobody,
them
no one
as slogans.
appreciate
Now
that.
you have a
No
problem
one
with them.
appreciate those words actually. If you're talking about the society, no one appreciate that. If someone appreciate that, he's not,
No, no
he
one ever
considered
had
as a
a
bad man.
problem. Men always use ma behan ki, these curses and galis. Nobody ever objected to it.
Mhm.
Now these are on some play
I'm
card,
not
and
going to point out
obviously
anyone
because
over
they
here.
are
Like,
in
I'm
Aurat March.
supporting
In
you.
your stage dramas, men always use such kind of language for women. Even worse than that, nobody cares. But in Aurat March, because now they are pointing out unnecessary issue, because Aurat March is the problem. They don't want Aurat March, so
Can
they
I
are
ask you a
trying to
question,
create a
Arisha?
mess.
Arisha, I have a question. You very
Yes.
rightfully mentioned stage dramas and positions like that. Those stage dramas, are they appealing to you? Are you okay with those stage dramas?
Obviously not. Obviously not.
So,
But
the same
nobody
logic
complains.
applies, right?
Nobody
So,
points
so
them out.
nobody,
Have you ever seen anyone in news channel discussing those things?
they should.
Ever anybody took any action that they should
They
ban those
should, but they
dramas?
don't.
Ever seen any man like Khalilul Kamar talking about those stage dramas? He never cares. But why
So
Aurat
would
March?
you put it on the same
Because you are
brackets, right?
threatened.
But you would put it in the
I
same
want to give you an
brackets in
example.
terms of
Almost
vulgarity, because I
almost.
don't endorse those dramas.
Can you hear me?
No,
Hello.
I'm just making one example. I'm just making one example that there are worse things happening, and even I don't think there is anything wrong with those slogans, because obviously women are angry. They will point out such things. They won't use very sweet language, and
There
if
is
you
a
think this
problem.
will work, this
Let me
will
show
work.
you good example as well. Let me show you the good example as well.
No,
Just
but,
He's
but
going to
the,
come up
the
with
point
another
over
flip
here is,
card.
hold on a second. These slogans are finished. They no longer exist.
I just want to give you a good example, Shaji. Just one, please. There are a good example as well. Yeah, you continue. Let me upload the image first. Yeah.
Let me point one thing out, Munes. So this issue was addressed about a year and last year, I think. So this year, these slogans are not there.
Yeah.
They were
So
also
why are you
evolving.
discussing them? Because you want to
That's
make
what I'm
Aurat March
trying.
irrelevant.
Yes, exactly. These slogans are not. That communication
Yes.
problem has been resolved.
And
That's what I've been
you are
saying
saying
for half an hour.
that these kinds of slogans they divert audience or public from the main issues that women are facing. But you are doing the exact thing. You are just pointing out these stupid things. Oh, this was written in that slogan, whereas there were other slogans as well, which were
No,
written,
you're not
which
getting
were
my
marketed
point.
very
You are not
carefully.
getting
But
my point, Arisha. I'm just saying there's a
Monis, your
this
slogans
is
would
an
be relevant if they were this year's slogans. This year, this.
oh, sorry. I put you mistakenly. Yes.
Yeah. So Monis, this you want to put this on stage? What are you? What number is?
Just one for me. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the good way of communication. Yes, you can say yeah. It's okay.
This is not this year, man.
Oh my
This
God,
year.
we have to,
That's what I'm
Arisha,
saying.
wait
This
a second,
issue
wait
of
a second, Shaji, wait a second,
miscommunication was
Shaji.
rectified.
Arisha, next time when Women March happen, we have to make sure we get all the placard, go by Mones, because he's going to decide what feminists are supposed to talk about and what they are supposed to do, because Mones
I'm
is the
men
man.
are judged.
not
He
saying
was
you
talking
have
about
to.
judge. So
Men are
men are
supposed
the
to tell
judge.
us.
That is why.
Yeah. You
No,
ready, Mones?
You have to judge
I
women.
already gave
That's
you an
what our
exception.
society
I
is
already gave
doing
you an exception.
since a long
According
time.
to, if you're talking about the Islam already gave you an exception. And if you have no shame, do whatever you like.
Yeah, we can, because women are just as human being as you. We can decide
Oh,
we
dear
want to follow
Lord.
Islam, we don't want to follow Islam. We don't need judge. We don't need men. That's the point.
With,
The main
there is
point
this.
is, Monis, this communication issue was rectified, was it not? You saw what Aurat March is like this year?
It has not happened yet in Islamabad. You know that, but we are waiting for the law.
No, but this is the official representation, and this year Maryam Nawaz is part and parcel of it.
Well, that's fine. It's
So,
okay if its communication matter is resolved that they are talking in the good
And
behavior.
you know why?
They can talk
I will
about the
also
right.
say why
There's no
men
problem
are
talking about their
uncomfortable.
rights. There's no
The
issue
point
for
is that women are always told how they should behave, and that is why they are putting such slogans, because they want to teach you that you are no one to tell
everyone
us
have been
how to
told
behave. If
about.
you are feeling uncomfortable, then let it be. Control your own self. You
There
also
was
do
this
Listen,
such
man,
things which women are not comfortable with,
listen,
but we don't
Arisha.
ma'am,
really
ma'am
complain.
Arisha,
One second,
listen.
Shaji,
First,
We are
listen
not
to me.
allowed to complain.
Men or women
Hi,
are bound to follow the
Mones,
country's rule over
hello.
here. Yeah, you have to create
Yeah.
the balance in the.
No,
You have to follow the state rules.
you're not going to tell us. The state is going to tell us you're not our boss. Anyway, Arisha, there was this man in my office who also thought that he could tell me what I used to wear normal shalwar kameez with leather jacket and everything, but he decided somehow he knew better, and he would be like, "Why do you dress like man? You should dress like my daughter. Look at my daughter." And I mean, I'm not being a classist, but his daughter used to wear all the stuff that was sold in Sadar and eyewear brands. So for a little while, I ignored him, and I was like, I'm just gonna let it go. But then, water went over, and I put him in his place very, very loudly. And since then, he never said anything to me. But that's the problem. Most men think they have the right to decide what we can wear, how we can behave, how we can sit, because that's their right. Then they remember the rule of law. But when they're raping women, when they're harassing them, when they say, "Mashallah, Subhanallah, oh, Haseen Bibi ja rahi hai," then there is no rule of law. Then they're like Azad Dunya.
Yes, it is like that. Random people, even I have experienced such things. Even I was once standing on road, I was waiting for my bus. Random guy, random stranger guy, Bibi dupatta pehen lo. Why you not wearing dupatta? It's up to me if I want to or not. But then again, you think you are the judge because you are men. You can, I have seen.
Alisha,
Yeah.
it is a very normal thing among men. I mean, they're talking about bad language. It is a very normal thing among men that when they can get a girl, they will start telling everyone that she's a whore. Yeah.
Yes.
Then there is no language. Then when they're discussing other sisters and mothers, then there is no language. But the language come when we say that, हाँ, but ठीक है तुम्हें आवारा लगता है तो हैं हम. Then they remember, oh my God, language.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're moving on to the final phase. We have some information compiled. We're just going to go through that. We've got a presentation in regards to that, and we're going to have our final comments. Man, who else is playing with the actual screen? Please calm down, guys. You guys are audible. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Because when it's time to speak, like I'm going to go to that, so you can speak. Okay. So we thought it would be a good idea to quickly go through what are the actual issues and what are actual concerns of women in Pakistan in terms of everything. So women's rights in Pakistan remain a critical issue as we've kind of discussed. The emotions go high. Legal framework and implementation gaps still persist. Traditional and religious conservatives often misinterpret gender for justice. Like we discussed, they may use religion or culture to basically stop certain progression of females. So we thought we should maybe examine that in a bit detail, which we've kind of done. Now, the question over here is if we look at certain stats, in terms of rule of law, which obviously has implications, especially for the marginalized people, and women are kind of marginalized in various ways. What you'll find is that Pakistan ranks 129th out of 142 countries. The gender parity index, again, in those regards, I mean, being 145th out of 146 is a huge thing. That's like very shameful, I think. Human Development Index, again, in that Pakistan is ranked 164th. In terms of women labor and forced participation, again, just 20% in representation in terms of a huge amount, which means like half of your population is not even being productive as they should be. Justice system and its representation in the Supreme Court, 2 out of 17 judges are women. That is, again, very low compared to other countries. Female lawyers, 500 out of every 3,000. So that is a bit progressive, I would say, but it needs to become better. Female police officers, just 3%, when 50% of women, and especially with the segregation which is implied in various ways in the society, to only have 3% of women to be nationally representative of the entire police force nationally is disgraceful, and that needs to increase just for women's safety, if nothing else. Barriers to justice, 80% cite poverty, 50% corruption. Now, my question to the panel over here is, when we see figures like these, uh, don't you think that these figures, these facts, cross-verified by the Pakistani government as well as everywhere else, what is this an indication of? Aren't these very real issues? Is it really a question about slogans anymore? Monis? Monis, can you hear me? You're muted.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you go ahead, continue. Just give me one moment, please.
Okay. Arisha,
Yes, like what you were trying to say, that why we are not
you're muted.
covering these things in our slogan.
No. Why the mainstream media? Why is Maria B making stupid statements rather than talking about this? For example, why is GOTV not conversing about these issues?
Yes,
Why are these not household names? Aren't these like people, women of our own country?
because they don't care, and also the misogyny is a popular idea. It is appreciated. You can see how many people follow me, or people who are liberal, or who actually care for secular values or for women rights. Nobody takes them seriously, but instead such people, if they make such misogynistic remarks, they are they gain popularity, they gain fame. So that is what they are doing. They are not concerned with all these matters. So that is why also people are not what I would say, they don't even know that uh, like they are aware that how women are not progressing or anything, but they don't really care.
Mm. So, Maham, coming to you in regards to that, we mentioned these issues, and you kind of helped me compile that data as well. Why do you think these, if there's such a stark level of issue within Pakistan, why isn't the mainstream media, as well as a majority of women who happen to be in power, seem to be conversing about these things?
Because like I said, most of the people, even most of the feminists, they don't really care about these things. They will use the slogan and the idea for their own benefit, to help themselves. But they don't really care about, most of them, if you ask them about these figures, they wouldn't know. They just know that women is being oppressed, and they're going to use it whenever possible. That's why I always say that women in Pakistan are not ready for it. And that is sad. That is sad. But it is what it is.
Also they
Monis?
don't have much power to do anything, because when there are certain activists who come forward to talk about it, they are shamed so
Sidelined.
much, they are hated so much. And also our government, our institution, nobody really cares. That's the point. So there is not even a point of raising voice now. It seems like that, like the situation in Pakistan is not very hopeful for even transgenders or for Aurat March or anything. Because obviously, because you can see how people are not even progressive. Like generally our public is not progressive. They have very limited mindset, limited point of view towards everything. So this is how people are not encouraging. You can see how human right activists are treated in Pakistan. Like every other activist, not just Aurat March, you can see those who are speaking for Baloch rights, nobody cares. So it's the general attitude of public and also our institutions and government and everything. So
I think I would say that for the entire situation, like it's not just about women rights. Pakistani don't care about anything.
No, it's
Yes.
not actually. I'll tell you. Let me give you some more examples about the liberalism and secularism and the women rights they give. There were some many environmental issues over there, like the family and population declines, and the cultural and religious identity as well. If you talk about the population decline, there are like about 20 countries over there. They are now they are majorly failing about to gain their like I can say the labor forces over there
And
because
he
they gave
can't
the
feed
power
our
to the women.
children.
Sorry.
In Pakistan, he can't feed their children. There's so many.
And are you paying for the Pakistani children there?
No, I'm not. But they're not
No.
getting fed.
But it's
That's
You
why
not
half
can
about
of
say
Pakistan,
parenting that they
these
should
half of
these
not
are the
be
Pakistan
able
blames
to
is
have
only.
both
These
kids.
are the blames only. You're not paying anything to the
what
Pakistan.
about
Yes,
it?
yeah, yeah. You
What
can
about
say
it?
whatever you like. It's not
What
that
about
that you're saying
other
true.
countries like this, but in
There are
Pakistan
a
it's like
million of
this?
families. There are a million of families. They are raising in Pakistan, and they are
Mhm,
raising their children. And they're most of them.
mhm,
There are so many others. They're doing good stuff over here. That's not the way that
mhm.
you're saying that you can blame something negative and you can say that.
Yeah, you
You,
should see the child.
have you ever paid any money to the
The
Pakistan?
child
Have you ever sent the paid?
statistic in Pakistan this year. You should see them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can say whatever you like, but that's not true.
I'm not
Also,
saying it. Facts are saying it.
I told you
also
that. Let me show you the countries that are declining population due to because
Then what
women
about
are more activists there and they chose not to get married and they chose not to get the child.
no, so
That's why they are
how
facing
those
the
countries are
problem.
progressing who are having a lot of kids? They have nothing to eat. And what about those small countries like Israel who are in power, who are still controlling the world despite being so small in number? So what number
And
has to do with
what
it?
is the major source of Israel for the earning?
No, let it be because they are
No,
powerful.
tell me what is the source of earning for the Israel? Can you tell me what is the source of earning for them?
Because they are contributing, they are taking part,
No, no, no. You're wrong.
they
You're
are
wrong
holding
again.
economies.
You're wrong again. They are selling equipments for the war.
So
So,
yet again, they are succeeding. They are succeeding. What are you
So
doing
you're
despite
along here with
producing
that
kids?
every country can build the war equipments and they can sell to the everyone. Is it okay?
Why is Pakistan not doing it?
Putting the
Why
whole
are
world on the
many
war is
Muslim
okay for you?
countries not doing it and succeeding despite
No.
having so
So
many kids
according to you, that
and
Israel
using
is earning
women
money by
just
selling the
as
war
baby
equipment. Are
making
you okay
machines?
for that to sell the war equipments all over the world?
Do you think your kids can compete with their kids in intellect or anything?
You're not answering my question, ma'am. Are you okay that every country will build the war equipment, the guns and missiles and everything, and they're allowed to sell to the whole world? Is it okay?
No, no, that's another topic. That's another topic. But still, how can you say
I
that having
in my
family or
opinion,
having a
in
lot of kids can make
Monis,
you
Let me show
successful?
you
Like,
just a
why,
minute.
when your countries
hold
are
on,
not
guys.
good for anything, then
Hold
how
on,
can you
guys.
make such a claim that
Hold on.
people should have more population? Don't you think Earth already has a lot of people and there's
Hold on, Arisha. That whole theory of Earth having a lot of population is something which China is soon going to suffer from. Europe already is, and what we're seeing is China is now increasing the number, kind of promoting childbirth because they realize their golden era is going to get old and there's a huge gap, and population is significantly going to decline in the coming decade or so, and that is going to mean that they are not going to be growing as uh, fast as they were. Same if you look at the case studies in Europe again in the 70s and the 80s, it was promoted you should have less children. But now what they have to do is just to sustain and maintain economies, they have to bring immigrants, which is not really working out either for the immigrants or the host nations because of the kind of immigrants coming in, and we've all seen that. Now, moving on from that aspect, uh, the interesting factor is when Monis and both of you, as well as you, Arisha, kind of did not feel comfortable stating that armory or ammunition should be a source of income. I don't see that to be a problem as it is technology, and I would fully endorse Pakistan's industry and shamelessly being of Pakistani origin, because Britain already does that, the United States does that, and majority of countries out there would want to do that. So I don't think it has anything to do with morality or immorality that a certain kind of business done in a responsible way is conducted in Pakistan as well, where it would be good for Pakistani economy if Pakistan was to increase and become a good big international reseller or a regional reseller of armaments as a whole. Why not?
No, Shadi,
Can I
actually,
point
this
some
is a
stuff out?
different point of view
Give me
you're
a second.
taking.
Give me a. I want to read some stuff out for you guys, right? Pakistan has the third highest proportion of stunted children globally, chronic malnutrition, right? 2018 and 2022 UNICEF reports point out that 38% of children in Pakistan are suffering from stunting, otherwise known as chronic malnutrition. In 2023, Pakistan was ranked 102 out of 125 countries on the Global Hunger Index. Yeah,
And
but
are you talking about the women rights, or are you talking against the Pakistan? That's my point, actually.
Oh, this is not
no,
against
we talk
these.
about
How is
children.
this against? This is not against Pakistan.
Against
This
it
is
is facts.
who just
Okay,
changed the.
let me show you. These are the rich countries and the
And now
resources
he's
like
going to
China,
pretend that
Russia.
No,
he's going
you
to
are
talk about
you
other
are
countries.
Can you
you
hold
are
on?
against atheism, you are against Western civilization, so you are pointing out these things. But
Yes,
tell me,
I'm actually,
what is
no,
the good point in
We
having
don't
a
care
lot
about
of
those
population, a
countries.
lot of
No, no,
kids?
no,
What
Anisha,
have you
no, no.
achieved? If
I'm not
you
talking.
We don't care about those
if
countries.
you will
We're in
give any
Pakistan.
good
We're talking about
I'm
yourself,
not
example,
right?
talking.
good role,
I'm not actually. Listen,
is your
listen.
society a
Let
good
me
role
talk.
model?
Let me talk. Don't mess over here, please. Let me talk. I'm actually talking about the problem, but like you're failed that these countries like China, United States, Russia, and Japan, they
Oh
are
my
failed
God,
to
what
bring
about
the.
we?
Yeah, they are failed because they gave the power to the
Who
women and
Okay,
they.
cares
how
about
is
their
Pakistan
countries?
an
Monis,
Islamic
the
They're
country
point
facing,
successful?
is
How
they're
are
that
they
facing population
successful?
decline. Yes,
They
they
are
are
only
facing
successful
population
in
decline over
being
here.
immigrants
And
and
you're saying
ruining
that
those countries, ruining those
wait, hush.
civilizations. That is how they are succeeding.
hold on, guys, hold on. Now my question is, okay, what you're saying, I agree with everything which you're saying about China, about Russia, about Japan, the West, and the whole shebang. Right now, my question is, how does that improve the situation in Pakistan, or does it make you
Exactly.
feel how? I want to know.
Yeah.
Because when I belong to two communities, right? When I'm speaking to British people, they would point out that there are issues. They would point out that can you please bring back the presentation which I
So
have.
the actually problem is that my point is to say over here that they're talking about the rights. The basically it's against the family system, and they are against the population decline as well.
No, so what have you achieved because of your family system? How is that a good idea? You have to prove it. That is why we will believe that women should have a lot of kids. Then we will believe because it has produced nothing.
A
No
higher position
success,
in hunger
nothing.
index,
And
Anisha.
No, no even.
why these countries are they like asking for
We
other
don't care
people
about
to
those
come to
countries.
their
These
We
countries?
are
don't
And
their
care about those
problem. These are
countries.
their problem. What have you
No,
achieved by having a lot of kids?
so
please
many
don't say
things.
other countries
Just
again.
making them go to madrasa and get raped there.
No, you this is Islamophobe. It's not women rights.
No, this is
Okay,
what is happening in Pakistan.
No,
Why do you think so many kids
this
are in
is
madrasa?
Islamophobe. This is
Because
not
because
about the
parents
women
don't
rights.
have
This is Islam.
anything to
Arisha,
feed
let's
them.
not go there. Arisha, we
Yeah,
will discuss
this
that
is
some other time.
Islamophobe. It's not about the
No,
women rights. Yes, actually. I
Let's go there
already
some
told
other
you that it's not about some religion, it's not about some borders, it's not about some countries. It's about the mentality of the people. Actually, that's actually the
yeah.
whole.
If you're admitting it's the mentality of the people, we're not talking about the
Yes, and
government
then
here. So
why you are pointing some religion? Why you are pointing
are you
some
speaking
countries over here?
against Pakistan right now, Munis?
Yes, you saying everything,
So are you
the whole
speaking against
conversation is going.
Pakistan?
The whole conversation, I came to know that it's
No,
like
no,
about
I want to
religion. The whole
ask you.
conversation is pointing against the
No,
country
no,
of
but
the
you
one
said
country, which is the Pakistan.
no, no.
Why don't
Hold
you
on.
talk about the female infanticide about, like in India, in China, and the different
Because I
Asian
don't
countries?
come from India.
Yes, no, that's problem. Yes, actually,
Hold on. Do you come from India?
I'm not talking about that. I came from
No,
India.
hold on. if
I born in Pakistan. Yes.
about I can converse about indirect issues which basically affect Pakistan or British people, right? I belong to two countries. It does not matter to me what they're doing in India. Why would that be my concern?
I just raised two issues over here. The 2 points. The one
No,
that you should
my question is,
use the
you said
good
something very,
communication.
I want an answer to that. You said this is people's mentality. So are you speaking against Pakistan by saying that it's Pakistani people's mentality?
Everyone's. It's a whole world. It's not about the Pakistanis.
So how come Pakistan is poorer than the rest of the world then? Why is there corruption in Pakistan and not to the same extent elsewhere in regards to that? I think there's difference between each country and each region, even within Pakistan. They're not all equal. Are they equal? Would you say America, for example, has exactly the same issues as Pakistan? I don't. I think that would not be a very
Why do
sensible.
Pakistani always compare the bad stuff with every other country, but they don't want the good stuff from there?
That's cool if you're going to say about the good stuff as well. But I'm just saying that you should have some good stuff. Like if you're talking about the rights, then you should need a good communication. If you're talking about the mentality, then don't point at some country or some border over here. That
No, we're
seems
talking about
like
our
you're
own
like it doesn't seem like a women right. It seems like Islamphobe, and it seems like you are border issues. You have some border issues.
Hold
You
on a
don't
second.
hear
Okay.
what you are talking
Arisha
about.
might look, Monis, Arisha might be an ex-Muslim, but the rest of us, including yourself, are not ex-Muslims, right? We're conversing about these figures which are not created or calculated by anyone but Pakistani government. These are your own figures. This is a response to what they wanted to achieve compared to what was written out. Why do you think Mariam is running all these programs all of a sudden? These are the figures which were used by your own very government, no? So were they being against Pakistan by publishing these figures?
And you're here just to show Pakistan's figures.
We're talking about Aurat March. We happen to be of Pakistani origin, and we're comparing ourselves in regards to that. We're speaking about a certain issue. Okay, moving on in regards to that. So again, another thing which we found out, which is up on the screen, is very interesting. The most interesting part is that what you'll see is limited religious education for women. Would you realize that 90% of places there is not even, forget traditional education, women are discouraged in the rural areas from even acquiring religious education. And that is very interesting because if we look cross board into other Islamic countries, what you see is Mosava, for example. It's a very interesting organization. It basically has been working in Syria, in Egypt. It's in cohesion with Al Azhar University, and if they're Shia, they are with the University. And each time there is an issue in regards to family law, women issues, other issues. It's a very interesting. You can say feminism is Islamic, influenced by Islamic kind of a thing. They get fatwas in regards to what rights are acceptable according to each sect, and I think that is something which people need to go ahead and check. I don't know why. So again, this comes to a very important point, and before the stream, Monis agreed with me on in regards to that, and I would like his opinion in regards to this again. Like he basically said, Islam gave all these rights. I agree
Yes.
as a Muslim as well.
Yes.
But why aren't Pakistanis giving these rights to their women? Or why are women of Pakistani origin not getting these rights when they are Muslim?
Now you are on the point which was I tried to raise, that it is about the mentality, it's not about the Islam.
Yes.
Why
And
Sharia court is not allowing domestic violence bill? Why always they have only objection with it? Nobody really objects it. Not even Pakistani men sometimes. Only mullahs, only those in Sharia courts are opposing these bills. Why?
Because it's a part of constitution that you cannot pass a bill which is against the Islamic law.
So how can you say that Islam protects women from violence? That it means it is not
Because
protecting women
it is
from
not
violence
allowed
when
in
women are
Islam.
not
It is
able
not allowed.
to
It is
file
not allowed in
complaints.
Islam to do violence with the women.
It is the same thing. It is the same thing. If women
No,
can't
it
protect
is not.
themselves, if they are not protected at home, they can't go out and file
It
complaint
is. It
against
is
their
not.
husband.
It is not. It is
If their
not.
husband is beating them up, it means
You
Islam
are
is
mixing two
encouraging
things
it.
over
Islam
here.
is
You are
enabling it.
mixing two things over here. You are mixing punishment and you are mixing crime.
It's the
Punishment is
same
a
thing. It's the same
no.
thing. Who
It's
will
not.
decide? Who will decide? Men can exceed their limit anytime. Who will decide? Who will see it? Like I can tell you, there are some cases. Okay,
If you
leave women alone. Even if there are kids. Okay, if there
are
is a
talking about
father
this,
who has some psychiatric issue, he is beating up his kids. Who will take care of them? Now he is the provider. He is the head of the family. Who will take care? Because there are no domestic violence law. So who will protect those kids? It's not just about women. You have made a person because the way you say that the way the Islam gives the concept of family, you say it's perfect, but it's not perfect in every other case. There are
look.
men who are
If
alcoholic,
you
who
look, if
use
you are
drugs,
talking
who
about,
are
if you are
abusive.
talking about the
By nature,
Islam,
who are
look.
abusive. What
Let me
will you
talk.
do in this
Let
country?
me talk.
Who will take care of those women and those kids?
I heard everything you said. Let me talk about this. I
Don't
told
you
you
think
that
there should be domestic violence laws? There should be.
Islam never said that it is allowed or it's permissible in Islam for the domestic violence or
Then
being.
have those bills. Then who have those? Every other country is having those domestic violence bills. Why don't your country?
Because there are some chances that the wrong women, which are actually which can use misuse this actual law as well. There are chances they can
Don't
misuse it.
don't you think? Don't you think men who are made head of the family, they will misuse those ayahs that they can punish their wife? They can do anything now.
The
Why
punishment
only
is
women? Why are you only
look
threatened by
look.
women?
okay,
Men
Yes,
are
I
yes.
doing
think
it
that's
every time.
debatable.
Men have been doing it since
I, I, I,
a
I,
long
I
time.
think I'll let both. Hold on, I'll both let you have your final comments on this, so we can quickly move forward. I think this is a debatable thing in regards to that, which will not happen. And go ahead, Arisha, first you, and then Munis. You can have the close
Yes,
on
that
this.
is why I will say the way Monas is saying that Islam is not allowing this violence or anything, but it's the same thing. If you can't protect women, if you are not setting any boundaries, if you are not allowing women or allowing society to have domestic violence bill, it is the same thing. It's the same thing that you are fine with it. Whatever husband is doing with a wife, because now
No,
he is a master, he is
I never
earning,
said.
he is a
Anisha,
I
provider.
no, don't be
exactly like
conclusive.
that.
Don't be
Anisha,
conclusive. Don't be
Anisha,
conclusive. Don't be
there is a
conclusive. I never
domestic
said that.
violence against women
I never said that. I never said
happening.
that. Don't be conclusive over
Now,
here.
now,
There is
now answer. You can correct her, right? What you did not say. Now it's your turn to say.
Yes,
Arisha,
that's. I never said
can
that.
you finish
It is not.
something in the
It
middle?
is not permissible for any man to beat his wife or the children and everything.
Then have
But
domestic violence bill, please have it,
I
because
told you.
women
I
are not
told you.
as
I told you.
physically
I told
strong
you.
as men.
I told
There
you
is
there are
power
some
imbalance.
problems.
There is power imbalance, and wherever there is power imbalance, other person who is stronger would always take the advantage. This is the human nature. That is why in
No,
Western civilization, the
no.
ones
It's a,
who are
if
women, they
it's a
have more rights.
if
There are
it
more
is in
laws
human
for
nature,
them.
if it is a human nature, why don't you think that women can misuse this power as well?
No, no.
Because
There would
in
be
history, I
evidence.
can
They
show
would
you
have to give the evidence of domestic
I
violence of
can show you
everything.
so many cases. I can show you so
Why
many
you are
cases.
okay with men misusing everything? Men being head. You never thought that why men are made the provider, why they are told by Islam to be the providers or be the head of family. They won't exploit. Why? They are angels. They are special creation of God. That is why. Only when it
So
comes to women, it's the problem.
God makes up exception to the everyone else.
Hmm. No, no, no.
I
We
think
understand it
both
really well.
women.
We understand everything. That is why
Oh,
one
okay.
needs
I think
Islam.
we both are going to not agree to
Guys,
that.
we already have a Domestic Violence Prevention and Protection Act 2012. It was recently accepted in KPK as well. But
Yes.
of course, it's not as properly used, but it's there.
If you're talking about the rights, then women have right. She can separate. If there is a man is abusive, she have right to get separated. She can live her own.
No,
She can find a.
what if the man kills her, throws acid on her face? What's the point of then?
They have
No,
What
also
will
because
she get after
that's not.
losing him, after breaking her both
No,
arms,
if
both
this is
legs?
the case, it can be happen all over the world, especially not in the Pakistan. But the most
Uh,
I can show you the most cases from the India.
It's
what India
fine.
has to do with it? What India has to do is, we are talking about Pakistan.
Yes, but
You will start
basically,
mentioning
the,
other countries.
actually no, I'm actually trying to tell you, if you're trying to prove something, don't mix up the
So,
exception with the
so, so,
reality.
so the thing is, this is actually correct in terms of India and Pakistan, and India do share a culture,
Yes.
and that does. I'm sure Arisha does not agree with the first part, which is apparent on the slide. But I'm not sure to what extent she does. But I'm pretty much sure that Monis would agree with the fact that Islam does grant women rights to education, property, inheritance, freedom, choosing of spouse, protection from violence, etc. But selective religious narrative is preventing that. Many ulama use cultural practices rather than Islamic teachings, which is again shared by the Indians. With the Pakistanis, like Monis rightfully pointed out, women's empowerment is falsely labeled as un-Islamic, because that is something which is endorsed. That's where we came to in terms of our opinion. Arisha, you have every right to disagree on that, which is fine. Now, challenges faced by women in Pakistan again. So some of this you guys have already discussed, but I think we'll quickly go over it. Legal implementation gap. That is exactly what was being pointed out by the earlier conversation. The laws happen to be there, but there's lack of implementation. Again, culture and corruption. Lack of women in judiciary and law enforcement. Obviously, if there is going to be female cases, the country is believing in segregation to a certain extent, one way or another. Then females need to be there in those positions to take care of females. But that does not happen to be there. And that is something which needs to be encouraged. It should be encouraged. I think virtual courts by the UN and Mariam Nawaz and the government as a whole in provinces is a very good step in regards to that, because I think there's a general fear in females trying to join the police force and the legal departments because of the culture again, because they don't want to be inside. Again, economic exclusion is one of the things which we looked at. Cultural restrictions limit women's financial independence. And I think that is something which both Maham and Arisha and Monis discussed in that. Then there is religious and social stigmas. Again, that is something which is blocking females from basically playing a more active role in society, in cohesion with Islam. Now, what has happened so far in from 2024 to 2025, once these things were highlighted? In KPK in particular, we have 72 virtual courts. I think that's a right step in direction which the Pakistani authorities have taken. That is going to resolve a lot of issues. 75 digital access points in prisons. Again, this is female specific. That is a very good kind of initiative which is going on. It's on behest of the UN again. 50,000 cases have been resolved through the virtual courts. And that's definitely something in the right direction. 200 female officers trained in Balochistan, again, a completely segregated province, one of the most troubled province of Pakistan in terms of culture, cohesion, integration, religious matters, whatnot. But it's a very good point that Pakistani establishment, Pakistani government has taken the right steps moving forward. I think anyone who was thinking that we're pointing Pakistan out did not realize in the audience that there are some very positive points which we're discussing as well. So these are steps which are in place right now as we speak. Increased awareness and access to justice. 34,000 people educated in legal rights, including 9,000 women. Again, an initiative which is outside of Punjab. These are KPK and Balochistan figures. Again, that percentage has to go up. Now, future of women rights in Pakistan. So, as it's expected, we believe, or we are going to take opinions from the panel, expanding virtual courts nationwide, increasing female representation in law and police, bridging the digital divide for access for justice, challenging cultural and religious misconceptions through education, something which Munis is working on. So he's part of this actual pillar in his own right. Enhancing economic opportunities and financial inclusion for women. Again, that's something which. So, is there anything in which anyone on the panel would have a disagreement with in this slide? Anyone? No. So how these are going to be the final things? We've pretty much covered everything. That's about it. How can we make it better? So that's going to be the final comments, and also we're going to close on that note. How we have identified. Keep that in mind. Don't go into debates in regards to that. We have covered in mind. Yes, there are issues in Pakistan. Is lack of education. There is corruption. But the good point is that more and more people have began to speak about this. And this panel is an example of that. And once that happens, then it's a matter of implementation, right? So I think we all want good for Pakistan. We want good for the society. We want the women to be empowered. So first, I'll go to Monis. Monis, go ahead. Have your how can this be improved? And how do you see this going forward?
Shari, I already told you whenever you show me the video from the Prime Minister, also from the Maryam Nawaz, that she was working on the rights. If you're talking about the rights, I'm with you. I'm okay with that.
These
But
issues specifically, these are real concerns. We're talking about only issues which are shown. I'm not talking about all those vulgar things which are vulgar in some.
I'm not talking about the
Some
vulgar
not
things.
in
I'm
others.
just saying I'm okay with that. If you're talking about your rights, that's fine. I'm okay. I'm with you. But if there should be some way to communicate, there should be some valid points which you have to get, because sometimes there are some issues, because I told you that Islam already gave the all rights, and Islam never said that you're not allowed to get anything. The basic rights, already it's not like in Pakistan. It's 1400 years ago. It's mentioned that you women can go for the education. She can do business if she can. She can go for the she will get the inheritance and everything. Actually the main scenario over here is that you have the rights, but if you are you don't have some, in some cases, in some remote areas. So you cannot blame the whole country for that, or you cannot blame the whole nation for that. And yes, I'm agree that there are a problem. There will be problem for everyone over the nation. That the main focus should be to resolve the problem, not to point anyone over here. That's
No
it.
problem. Thank you very much. And thanks for being here, Arisha.
Yes, but I would say right now, in Pakistan, there are two major problems. One is obviously the establishment military, and the other one is mullah. Okay, so to remove this religious extremism, I think Pakistan should become a kind of a secular state. Okay, unless they won't separate the religion, there won't be any peace, and that is how we can only work for the women rights as well. Because when you will separate the religion, the country will progress. Otherwise, I don't think so. Even if you do make implications or anything, but still, women are bounded by the religion. So there is a need to separate religion from state, and you can obviously then progress, and you will see that the culture norms and the people, how they have their social values, which are obviously not in favor of women, they will gradually change, because people will start progressing. They can use their mind in some other activities other than religion. They will obviously grow mentally. So I think that is how things will progress. It's just my opinion, and that's the thing.
Thank you very much, Arisha. It was well appreciated, both you and Monis. I'm going to give my final opinion as well, and then I'm going to pass it to Marham to close. So, my opinion on this entire conversation was, obviously, we're going to agree with some points, we're going to disagree on certain issues. And I think it's a good start that Pakistanis or people of Pakistani origin have begun to converse on such issues. You can see how diverse our panel is. Monis, and then we've got Arisha, who's an ex-Muslim. But having said that, the thing is, it's. I do not think it's a religious issue. I don't think. I do believe there is a cultural issue, but not the cultural issue associated with ethnicity, but rather education and jahiliya, which we consider in our location. And I believe that that is why these people are scared. One of the interesting findings for me while we were carrying this research out was that women are not feared from actually just going and getting traditional education, even religious education. That shows that people who want to curtail them do not want them educated because they're not interested in religion, they're not interested in education, they're not interested in those things. What they're interested in is their own hegemony and suppression. And we need to realize that, we need to come past that. And maybe, in my opinion, not for non Muslims, but as a Muslim, I believe that Allah gave women and men some rights. But the men and the women as a society are not providing them to each other. And that's a huge case of concern. Thank you very much. Maham, over to you. And then let's.
I just wanted to first of all point out to Supreme Yaskin that the legal age of marriage in Pakistan is 16. So I don't know, read a book, come out of your WhatsApp university. Secondly, I think the problem is economy, and the problem is economy because half of the community in Pakistan, which is the female gender, is made to sit at home. Right? They get their degrees. I've seen so many girls who get their degrees and they're still made to sit at home, right? They're doctors, they've done their masters, PhDs, and they're asked to sit at home. So that is one thing that is adding into, and the rest of the problem, I think most of it is just economical. The day we become a better country, maybe we will fix it. Most of it will be fixed. And rule of law, of course, there is no rule of law in Pakistan. And I would just say the last thing that just for the heck of it, there is this concept in Pakistan that women came out of the rib of a man. That's not an Islamic concept. Sorry, that was taken from Christianity. In Quran, it is clearly said that I made you from one soul. I made you to partner from one soul. So I'm really sorry I blew that bubble for you, and you cannot tell a woman that, oh, you came out of my rib. Other than that, thank you for listening in. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our channel, Grey BN, and press the bell button to get regular updates. Till then, have a good evening, good day, good afternoon, and bye-bye.